think we really woke up the town. Good morning. It's Thursday in Trenton. The medical marijuana patients are back. Oh, I said marijuana. I didn't mean to say that. Cannabis. The medical cannabis patients are back. SativaCross.com. Hello, Jim Miller.
Hello, Lefty Grimes. Podcast number 24, I think, this year. Podcast number 58 overall. It's a lucky number, 58. Including 21 protests in 2014. We've had 79 police permitted gatherings on Thursdays in front of the Statehouse. We're on a roll. And that's too bad. Seems like every week it's been quite a week. Doesn't seem to let up. I feel like we're chasing a freight train that's going maybe a step ahead of us sometimes.
Hello, Jesse Sanders. Good morning.
What's up? Mic check. Good morning.
Good mood today?
I am. It's the first day of fall and the weather's beautiful.
Oh, it is the first day of fall.
Yeah. Not that I'm excited the summer's gone, but yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
We just decided we're having free hemp bracelets today.
Aw, that's great.
One to a customer unless they want to.
Wait, free hemp?
Good morning, sir.
Free hemp
Free hemp?
bracelets. Well, there's a limited.
Oh.
We don't have a huge variety today. And, it gets people to stop over. Free hemp. I like to call them hand-rolled bracelets. I don't know if he realizes you don't actually roll a bracelet, but it's a good attention getter. So today they're free.
Yes.
No, I'm going to take one.
Or if they want to give a donation for that.
Yeah, well, we take dollar donations, but the sign free, genuinely, they're free.
Right.
So basically, if you want to make a donation, you could take one and donate some money and then take another free. Not for free. I don't like that because for means in exchange for money, for nothing, So you can get it for nothing, but you can't get it for free. You get it free. If you got it for free, I don't have any free. I don't have any free with me today.
That's
so
pretty trippy,
so I
Jim.
can't, I
Oh,
wouldn't,
wow.
and if it was in trade for, I would never trade my free. It's free.
You
can't
just
trade.
scrambled my noodle.
No, I'm just saying, it's like I hear things like that. It's actually become something I do as an advocate. You wait for somebody to make some stupid mistake like that and distract them.
You're the best. The best.
Wow. All right.
Good morning,
Well,
America.
welcome to Chris Christie's office. Thanks for coming by.
We have yet to figure out the address.
Yeah, what is the address here?
125 West State Street.
Okay, Jim knows.
Our liaison, Jim. Thank God, out of 5
We'll
people.
see
we got
after
one.
how many times here, I'm getting the hang of it. Right across from the War Memorial. Fitting.
That's right.
Having our own little war, it seems. Well, the cones are back today. They were gone last week. We
Why would
had
it-
a one-day moratorium
Why?
on cones. Well, we did.
Why would you do that?
Why we did it?
Oh, you did it.
No, actually, Ken suggested it, and I thought it was a good idea. The governor, when he signed post-traumatic stress disorder into law, it doesn't really matter why he did it or what he plans on doing after it. The public look, the optics that work well, is that we just take a day off, shake his hand, say thanks for this and all, because then he looks like a bigger douche when he tries to institute roadblocks, should he?
I'm taking my handshake back.
Yeah.
I
No,
regret.
no,
No,
no.
I regret shaking his hand last
No,
week. I
no.
feel like an idiot now.
Wait.
Because the vets told me what actually is the truth about this whole signing, and they have to wait indefinitely to get their cannabis now.
Well, what is? I'm confused.
If Governor Christie had done nothing and
Well,
not signed the
no,
bill,
they would have still had to. They still would have had to promulgate rules before it became codified to be added. You know, in a best case scenario with nobody. You know, basically regulations are you have to be diagnosed. You know, things like that. But for them, they take a bill that was signed into law and to add regulations that were not
Which
in
are
the
what, Jim?
spirit of the law as it was written and
Which are
signed.
what?
Well, we don't know yet
Yeah,
because
taking away your guns.
Well, okay, if it included that, that would be something. Not only would we fight, but it'd be interesting to see the NRA go up against Chris Christie while Donald Trump's running for president. That would be kind of fun, you know. And
Guns are our
and
friend. The Second
Well,
Amendment.
no,
is real.
it's
it's
yeah,
a
but
double-edged sword, though, because
it's all about the medical
Yeah.
marijuana and veterans and having their guns taken away. I mean, you know,
So they're trying to take the guns away if they become a medical marijuana
No,
patient?
no, they're
Oh.
not. Lefty's an alarmist. He wants you to know that this is a possibility. It's also a possibility they could make suppositories and insert them for you themselves, you know?
I'm not going to bend over and say easily.
It's,
I'm all for that.
But if what we want now is it's come time for us to fairly demand, when I say a seat at the table, we need contact with somebody that has contact with his people and the Department of Health. 2 years ago, it was John O'Brien, the director of the program. Now, if he can put me in touch with John O'Brien, if he can get John O'Brien, the director of the medical marijuana program, to call me 2 years ago, he can get somebody else to call me. And basically what we do is we take what we talk about, we sum it up, and I have to have somebody to tell that to. And the reason it's important is if they do the wrong thing after that, and we have a record of having brought this to their attention ahead of time, and they go do the wrong thing anyway, we actually create reasoning for us to be on an advisory panel because we're right and they're wrong. And the only way to prove it is to be right in the first place. If John O'Brien hadn't split and gone to New York to become dispensary's main puppet or whatever.
Well, a failed dispensary. His dispensary failed, didn't
well,
it?
good, it should. You know.
Well, I'm just a little confused about the PTSD bill. So
Okay.
as it stands right now.
And that's good because other people are too.
Yeah,
so
and
they ask
me every day.
let's take one issue. What are you confused about? One thing, and we'll deal with that, and we'll do it one at a time. We'll go through them.
Yeah, this will be interesting.
Okay. Well,
As of now, if I were going to the doctor and diagnosed with PTSD, what is that a qualifying factor, yes or no?
Not yet.
it's like when a law is passed, but it takes time to take effect. It's often not effective the next day.
Do we know the effective
No,
date?
this is no. I'm saying that when a law is passed, it might be passed and then take effect January 1st, and they pass.
Right,
it.
and do we know
No,
anything
no.
about
Well,
that?
this it gets added right away. It is put on the list, but it has to be codified for some reason. If there's going to be additional regulations, they have to go through a process to make that so. They have to announce what they are first. That's the first step, is waiting for them to announce if they're going to add regulations, which they will.
Okay, we're waiting. No.
Yeah.
When you say that they will, and but just signing it as a qualifying factor isn't enough. They're going to have to put
No,
stipulations
because the
upon
governor
it.
afterwards also said he was going to direct the Department of Health to look into promulgation of rules that would ensure public safety and prevent abuse. But you know what else
But
they
isn't
also
the law
said?
written already for that? Isn't the whole medical marijuana bill intentionally written?
No,
so for
that
safety?
would be the basic logic that we're applying, is this should not have special consequences because it wasn't in
Amen.
the original bill. If it's going to be added with the others, it should be treated the same. Now, the only difference is this is something
That's
that
discrimination at its finest.
No, it should be treated the same. If it's not, it is
if they-
discrimination.
yeah.
And it's not so much discrimination, it's meant to vilify. It's meant to say we think marijuana is more dangerous than the other drugs, so we're going to make
To
different
the people who
rules. Yeah.
fought for this country, who can ride with a backpack with morphine syringes on them in case they get blown up. They're worried about a plant being able to help them with the flashbacks, the memories, the illnesses, whatever they have when
Well,
they
you
come
know,
back.
listen
That's a shame.
to this school of thought. A very wise statement, I thought, that somebody issued in talking about this, and Lefty already knows who issued this wise statement, says we cannot let perceived abuse or potential abuse of cannabis.
Oh, I know, Senator
marijuana-
Dick.
No,
Senator
no,
Dick.
no, no, wait a minute. No, he said the statement is we cannot let perceived abuse get in the way of us doing what we can do.
Oh, Governor Dick.
Governor Christie said that himself. I know. So therefore, if he does get in the way, he'll be arguing with himself. We basically have to quote him at the beginning.
But as
see-
of right now, no one stepped
Okay.
in and said that they're going to do that. They just
so
want them to take a
let
look
me
at
tell
it.
you now, in case Christie does come, we've already discussed what it is that needs to be the main request. The main request is we need contact with somebody to discuss this that has access to him and the Department of Health. 2 years ago, he got John O'Brien, the director of the program, to call me, and we had personal discussions before he abruptly left. But it's what we want, because what we're saying is this is what should and shouldn't happen. But who are we
And
saying?
are they going to be denying that to these people until
Well, who was sick?
whoever
Hey, you're
reviews-
asking me. How do we ask them?
Yeah, I'm just saying, did we know anything about that? Because I can't seem to find it anywhere.
We don't know that yet, except for Lefty's telling you extreme case scenarios that actually could happen. But some people are thinking,
So we
as
just have a
I
dead
did,
tree
I
signed at this
thought
point.
he has to. The regulations that are going to be attached have to be announced.
You don't think that
We need that first.
you don't think the governor could take your guns away if you want cannabis for mental illness?
First
He
of all, New
could-
Jersey's not a gun-friendly state at
Yeah,
all.
this would be totally contrary to everything he's ever done for gun
Well,
laws.
I'm from
so.
Mississippi, Lefty. We can't talk guns.
I'm not going to worry about stuff that has such a little. There's so much stuff that could be closer to reality that I think we should have.
well,
our
wasn't there
attention on.
But
a
I-
Supreme Court decision recently that says that you can take guns away from people who have mental illness?
And there's a Republican decision that says Republicans don't take guns away from people. And he wants to be as Republican as he can. So again, I'm not going to worry about something that would
We
be.
shouldn't single out our
be like
veterans
that.
at all just because they're choosing a
they're
different
not
route for
they're-
their
who's
health.
singling them out?
I'm saying if that happens.
No, it won't. Well, it won't happen. That won't
But
be
if-
singling veterans
If
out.
they were to say we find a qualifying factor at the health board that if you could you can't have it because of this, or we're going to take your guns because of that.
It doesn't have anything to do with whether you're a veteran or not. If you're not a veteran and you have guns, it would apply to you the same as if you're a veteran and have guns, just like the law. The law does not apply differently for veterans. We are the ones that started that indication.
But do you not
We
think that
put
our
them up-
veterans would be the higher person to fall in that category because they are the ones that are more
Doesn't
likely
matter.
to be gun owners?
It doesn't matter. Not really. It doesn't matter.
They would. You don't think they would maybe look at things and go off of that because of the statistics?
No,
of
I think if
veterans?
anything, that would go in our favor. That's
Good.
how we got the law passed in our favor.
Great.
Because we used veterans up front to the point that people
Amen.
with post-traumatic stress who weren't veterans were very upset for a while. It's like, well, what about me? And it says, well, it's for everybody. But we talk about veterans because legislators don't care about individual people. You know, they don't care about.
We're just another social
cats
security
that are-
number.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, you
Good
know,
morning.
they can't care about every. Don't. Yeah, it's right here. Here we are. We're having a discussion
well-
here. He don't count. Sorry. I mean, you count, but
I
not.
have to say a little
Okay, you know, I'm just saying when you have the microphone, it's not so much to be engaging people while we're having
I got a question
discussion.
though. I got a question. If you're admitting that you have a
No,
mental
keep the microphone, but we're having a
Hold on.
discussion.
I have a question.
You shouldn't.
If you're
punctuate
admitting
with-
that you have a mental illness, all right. If you're saying I need cannabis for my PTSD, you're admitting you have a mental illness.
All right.
They can take your guns away for admitting you have a mental illness, right?
The
Is that true?
post-traumatic
per
stress?
the superior court of the federal government that doesn't acknowledge cannabis in the first
Has
place.
that happened to anybody
I-
in the United States because they
Hasn't
had
it?
post-traumatic
My neighbor,
stress?
5 doors
Well,
down.
no, we need to find out. This is stuff. This is head on the list. We need to find out now. You
neighbor.
can find out. No, but I mean, not just.
They took 27 guns out of his house because his son had an ounce of weed in there. And he was a veteran. They were all legal. That some were antique, some were newer, but they were all registered. He's a gun enthusiast. He goes to gun shows. And it took him over a year and a half just to get his guns back, and he still does not have them all.
So I'm not a gun lover, but I support the right to have guns.
I'm in
and-
that category myself.
Yeah, I don't
I
believe
don't
in
have
guns
guns.
myself.
I don't plan on having any, but I think that is a person's right.
Yeah. Yeah,
and
it
you
is.
can't try to prevent everything. It doesn't work. What
Right.
you do is you throw out the baby with the bathwater in every instance. And I know people that get great joy out of just going to the target range. I also know veterans who feel comfortable with a sidearm in the house. And I'm not going to try to tell them they don't need it. That's their
Very
right.
true.
So that if they have a firearm to leave this country and protect this country when they come back, they deserve a firearm to protect themselves, because this country cannot
Definitely.
at times. I mean, no country
What about
can.
martial
You can do
law?
your best. I think we've learned in the last couple of weeks there is no guarantee of protection, but people deserve that until they prove otherwise in their individual case. If
Where do you draw the
brandish
line?
it riding down the parkway
Okay.
and you get
Naked.
caught, now you're going to get, you know.
What's the line, though? Where do you draw the line on how
Brandishing.
crazy can you be to own a gun?
How crazy can you be
Yeah.
to own a gun?
Yeah, really.
Dividing lines are extremely
Well, at the end of the day,
hard.
the criminals
who-
are going to have them in their hands regardless. The criminals are never not going to have guns in their hands.
Right.
And the criminals are never going to not illegally sell drugs. The criminals are not the
But
issue with our cannabis.
It is a
you
good
know?
question, though. Who do you say is too crazy? Now, my example to Lefty was, I think it goes on an individual basis, that you can pretty well allow people who we would say are crazy. Is it because of the way they think? The
Not a
way,
good
or is
word.
it, or is it
Bad
the way,
word.
Is it no? But
But
right. I mean, you
mental
know that
illness.
applies to
Mental
me.
illness.
Okay, the guy that might be naked fighting with police and he has no drugs in his system
Yeah.
shouldn't have a gun.
Take his gun away.
Should not have a
But
gun.
what about someone who's suicidal? Should they
But
have
what I'm
guns?
saying is, he could have had a gun until he did that. And then when that happens, you find out, does he have a permit to own a gun? If he does he have guns? And then you can take it away from people after that.
What about admitting you're suicidal? Just admitting you're suicidal to a doctor. Should they take your guns away for that?
No.
Well, no, knives and don't
No.
allow you in tall buildings and don't be around carbon
People have
monoxide.
emotional
No.
distress.
Okay.
No.
Fair enough.
They have many other ways to
Exactly.
go. Actually, there are far better ways and drugs that you can get legally that
And if we
nobody
had more
worries
education,
about. Okay,
gun
what
education.
about somebody who's kind of like that and likes to drink? Now, there's no. It's like I'm just saying that
Scary.
there are
Wow.
many people like that who have guns and they haven't gone out and gotten into trouble, with using them. So it just seems like.
I don't know. Have you seen the internet, Jim?
You can't just take them away willy-nilly.
I see some crazy drunk people in the South.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm from Mississippi, and I know
Okay,
alcohol
people like-
scares me.
Like Jesse's friends are all crazy with
Not
guns.
that-
What
I
we
need
need to
more
do
like my
then is
cousins.
who's making a list.
I know I definitely trust someone smoking cannabis over drinking any day.
Hell yeah.
We need a list. Now, look, here we are. We've identified one thing we want to find out about.
What list?
Well, what our individual concerns are. Is this going to be a concern?
It is a concern.
What you're talking about now, but we're talking about it here. If we get the ear of somebody, which is the main question to the governor, we need somebody to contact so we don't have to wait to talk to you for 3 seconds at a time. Lefty's going to be
If they
able
want to
say
take
that's
applications,
Lefty's
we'd all
job.
be willing to fill that application out to help them on out, move the process right along.
Application for what?
For the director that they need to talk to, we'd fit the bill
Yeah.
perfectly.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I think I'd feel comfortable with Ken having a seat at anybody's
Amen.
Oh,
table.
yeah.
Yes,
I
go
mean,
Ken.
basically, he'd be the one I would want to do coordination and present group concerns.
You wouldn't want me in there? Come on, I'll shake things up.
No, I want you. I want you in the core group, as well as me and all of us here in the core group that has Ken's ear.
Come on, I wear my Don't Shit on White shirt. They'll love
You
it.
know.
Yeah, just like they did at
Ask Ken,
Red
and if
Bank.
he says yes.
Red Bank loved it.
So what else are we concerned about? I'm concerned about the definition and parameters of you have to have failed other therapies. Now,
Ooh, that's not good.
it's
That is
actually
not
okay.
okay.
First of all, do we know, is that in the original bill for everybody? I think that's actually in
So
the
try
bill
all
that
those
was signed.
narcos,
It
and
is.
if they don't work, then you can try
No, but
cannabis.
it is, but no. What
Yeah.
we
Wow.
need to know, specific question now, is that was that in the bill that was signed for everybody? MS, cancer, you have to have failed other treatment.
for some
it was in
for
the
some
bill that was
modalities.
signed.
For some
No, but not terminal illnesses.
no.
So basically, if you have MS, you have to have failed other therapies. If
Right.
you have people failed? Have they been asked?
You wanna hear
no,
a funny
no,
story about
ask me.
MS?
No, not yet. Make a note.
I can't though.
Yeah, here, I'll give you a pen
No,
and paper.
that's a good idea because I need to do that too. Because I get an idea and I'm like, I got to blurt it out, but then.
But if there's a train of
Yeah.
thought that's
I know.
like we're right on to
I'm the
something
same
and
way.
we're about to
Jim
grab
is our
it by the
organization.
neck.
He's right.
Now, okay, because for
me a
instance,
pen,
what
too.
were we just talking about?
I know.
I don't want to have to go back to that.
No, we were talking about adding
No, other therapies.
other.
They had to
We
try
were
everything prior to
we were
that.
talking about have the people that got their cards so far did they have to verify anywhere on record that they failed other therapies? I don't think so.
The doctor does that.
Leo, did you put on record as a card-holding patient, did anybody ask you, have you failed other therapies? Okay,
No.
we
It's going to be
didn't
to
we
the
didn't
doctor's
think so, but
discretion.
you're a patient. How about you, Lefty?
Uh,
Anybody ask you, did you fail other therapies?
no.
Okay, so it says in the original 2010 law that was signed, you have to have failed other therapies except in the cases of terminal illness, perhaps. But it says something. Now, if that's true, a lot of ifs, where's Ken when you need him? Or anybody else, if they know for sure, jump in. But I'm that sure that we are even discussing it right now, that it is, but it's not an issue. 10% cap on THC, don't worry, there's a way around it. What about the oils that are only supposed to be topicals? Can you consume them? Yeah, you can. I don't want to say that loud, though. My point is, in other words, they give you a topical oil. If you can put it in a vape pen and use it, that's
Get it, Jim,
okay.
tell 'em.
I'm just saying that
I'm just saying.
this
plant. We
is
can do all kinds of things
this
with
is good between the dispensaries and the patients.
There's a
and
problem.
and therefore we don't make an issue about it. Here's my point: all the things we worried and bitched about naturally aren't happening, even with those regs in place.
Thank God
so,
for the
So
doctors.
for veterans to do this, basically, I think the doctor that's recommending is going to say, have you ever had any therapy at all? And if they say, yes, I talked to somebody, did it work? No. Okay, you failed the therapy, I'll write you up. In other words, I don't think it's going to be, okay, first I
But
have
why
to
does it have to be
recommend
on the
this and
backs
that.
of the doctors to go around the law? Why does the law have to be so that way?
Because
It's a shame.
Because we're in New Jersey rather than Shangri-La. I mean, there's it's a good question. The answer is because they're not doing things they do starting out with patient interest and welfare. That's way down the line. There's a lot of other things they consider first, and we know that. So we got to chalk it up to that's the playing field, and it's not fair. But once we realize that, we got to not really dwell on it because it takes us away from what's our plan. Where is the playing field a little better? That's what we're doing here today. Look at our playing field. We're like squeezing a little bit today. So that's why we show up
Well,
to
what
be here.
I'm finding about people who aren't as educated as us are involved, like people that are new to it and they're still thinking about the stigma that it's always had. They're just going online, reading the direct law, and they're being turned away from it because of what the direct law says.
That's why the ones that get in touch with the coalition find answers or get to social media.
It just turns a lot of people off.
It does. But on the other hand, I see many people weighing in on the Facebook page, the coalition page. I have a stupid question. I have a silly question, and people weigh in. And when Peter Rosenfeld weighs in, he nails it. We have a lot of knowledgeable people that weigh in on a regular basis on that page. I would suggest to people the Coalition for Medical Marijuana New Jersey. That's why for 13 years we've tried to be in place to offer information and assistance, but people have to look for us, So you didn't have to.
Good morning, good people.
You did not have to verify you'd failed any other treatments. Maybe you heard my point. We are worried about, and rightfully concerned I am, and I know Lefty is, what are the burdens going to be placed on veterans and others with post-traumatic stress who are already diagnosed when they go to apply? Okay, have you failed other therapies? I think it's going to be wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Yes, I have. Okay. Check that box. Here it is. I don't think anybody on the receiving end is going to say, "Is this a legitimate therapy? Let me check the list." I don't think so, because you know why? It makes them look bad, and they don't want to look like they're nitpicking people out. Oh no, you didn't fail a difficult enough regimen. You did that. There was no danger to what you failed. We want you to try something dangerous like a psychotropic drug. You know, that sounds bad. So I think that we want to say you better be careful with the trigger points
Right.
to keep people out and allow them in, and maybe allow that to be a little more a matter for the clinicians involved. We need oversight, and we don't have any. That's why our question for the governor today, lefties through the microphone question, is going to be, Governor, something like, we got to quit meeting like this. It doesn't last long enough.
Governor, are you going to take the guns away from the patients?
No, we need we need
Oh.
contact.
That's right, we need contact.
Lefty's going to say something like, we need to have somebody to contact that has
Okay.
access to your office in the health department.
I like that.
You know,
We need that.
you know, in other words, has access to your office in that, at which point I'll have already gone up and, you know, say, you gave, you know, Lefty could say, yes, it was, thank you very much for having John O'Brien call Jim Miller, and they had discussions, but as you know, he's no longer there. Who do we have to take his place? Do you have a card, or will you just have somebody call Jim again? Here's, you know, I'll have my information. We want him to do for us again what he did when he put John O'Brien in touch with me. We need somebody to talk to, because that time we had to talk last week, even that obviously wasn't enough, but he's not going to stop by and do that again.
No.
So
That was the photo op
we
and
need
the
we need
opportunity.
contact. The reason we're here is we're not invited to anybody's table. We don't have a vote. We don't need. In other words, we need to be able to take part in the process of, say, the promulgation of regulations with the health department. We should be in an advisory capacity. So we're leaning this way, but we haven't published them. Ken Walski, do you have a problem with any of this? And Ken could say, here's the problems, in a very well thought out and linear way. Then if they go forward, we get to say we were right and they were wrong, and eventually we have a seat at the table, because we don't go away. But we need contact. I mean, right now, if we called, the governor's office, the health department? Yeah, hi, I'm Jim, you know. It's like, what category do we fit this guy into? Let me press this button, he's gone. I don't want that. I want somebody to know that we can say, Ken, what about this and this? And then he calls who it is, or me, or somebody at least from the coalition that will take everybody's concerns, get them down, and have that contact point, and then we need a reply. So what I think, and there's other things in the works. You, Leo, you were there at the first advisory board meeting. Now, first of all, the advisory board should be the one advising about the promulgation of rules, because they know about this. I think they're not, because I think we agree they have patient interests at mind more than the administration or the Department of Health. However, Deputy Commissioner Brito of the Department of Health is on the advisory board. Right. Now, if you'll remember, when I spoke with him, I gave him a minor little bitch slap, if I may say, about we talked about this before and nothing came of it. I hope this meeting will go better than that one and be more productive. And what did he do? He walked over right afterwards, and we had a talk. Where we are is we need to have another meeting. But I've never said, now I want it. What I'm saying is, okay, Dr. Arturo, you said we could talk again. You said so when you blew us off the first time. We never asked for that discussion. We never asked.
Right.
We never asked for follow-up.
No, here's the thing. You know, when you look at, when you take a, I'm
sorry, I just wish I had a camera, because there's something like so symbolic about a state trooper coming up to stop for Lefty, who's got a big fatty piece of medicine in his mouth. Yeah, and to see him stop for Lefty.
and Lefty walked by.
And he wasn't even in a he wasn't even in a crosswalk. He could have bumped him. There's no rule against that.
Here's the way the way I see things is like, okay, whoever, you know, the governor said, all right, I give up here, but I'm going to add some stuff to it. Right.
Well, this is what we knew he would do, because that's called compromise.
Yes. And so
not being defeated or pushed into it. So
the things that he added to it is it makes it.
But he hasn't actually. They haven't announced the additions yet. Lefty the Alarmist posted something I thought that they were talking about doing, like only having an ounce and taking guns away. This is all.
I saw it. Yeah, I saw it.
But,
I read that.
But that was him saying these are things that could happen, just making up things.
Well,
that
right
could
now,
happen.
like you can't. Right now, you can't even go get it because the whatever
Right.
those additions are, they haven't been put in
Well,
place.
but even if there was no additions, you couldn't get it because it has to be put down. No additions or whatever.
Right.
This is going to take longer if you're going to have to promulgate. I love that word. I don't
Right.
get to use it enough. I don't know what it means, but this is when
Yeah.
you use it. You get to promulgate regulations that would be a lot quicker. So you are right about that. That does delay it.
Right. So
but he also delayed it 43 days before a 45 day
that was
deadline.
that was the part that I'm
so,
just like
so the delay, it's like that we could make that a rumor that was a delay, but combined with the first thing he does it delays it again. If it walks like a delay and talks like a delay, it's a delay.
Yeah.
It quacks or whatever.
Well, I think that also what we hope to happen or the way we want things to be, none of that's going to take place until after Chris Christie is no longer governor of New Jersey.
Yeah.
That's just the way it
Yeah, I
is.
know.
It's just so
that's the way it's headed.
So
that's the
at
way
this
it's always
point,
been headed.
so at this point, we have 15 months of dealing with whatever this guy's doing, plus whatever additional months we have to at least begin to have the real conversations that need to be had in regards to medicinal marijuana and PTSD, even going, like with
That's true.
uh,
But here's what we're doing. we are the people that you're talking about that we do need to work with then, who will be able to help us more. You're talking about support. I'm not going to be distracted.
I'm sorry,
I'm not. I know, but you are. I'll start talking to them if you're going to be distracted.
sorry,
There's people over there listening to me, even if you aren't.
I'm listening.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. This is what we call the private joke segment.
Yeah,
where,
it's
where
inside
we
joke,
where we
folks.
have a good laugh and nobody knows what it's about. Trust me, though, it's pretty damn funny. And it's not sexual or nothing. It's just funny.
Even when I think
But
about it, it makes me laugh
it's
real
disparaging
hard.
about
Yeah.
somebody.
Oh
you know,
man!
you know.
Oh, we're going to hell with
Yeah.
gasoline draws on for this.
Yeah, that's a big add-on for in my case, my ride there.
But,
So anyway, here
even so what we have to do now is,
we do. Everything you said, I agree with, but we incorporate it into our plan rather than slow down. We go and hit the brick wall so we can identify the brick
Yes.
wall. So we
Yes.
have to say, look, we
Yes.
got this far,
Yes.
and look.
Yes.
But what we do is we do it in a public way, and we got to flog somebody now and then. We got to take that stick and actually knock somebody with, metaphorically speaking.
Well,
because when the new people come in, who hopefully will be better to work with, we want them to say, "Oh, we don't want any part of that."
Right,
We'd
right.
like to start a dialogue from the
Right.
beginning. Thank you.
Right.
It gives us credibility. We're building
And
up
that's
the
what I want,
credibility
yeah.
as somebody. If we show up every week here, we're going to show up to committee meetings. We do that. We're going to get information if legislators need it, but we're also going to warn them of pitfalls that they might not be aware of. How many issues do you think a legislator has to deal with? How many issues do we have to deal with? Hundreds? One. So we're good at this.
Well,
we know about
we
this,
know that, yeah.
and they should seek us
And
out for advice.
And that's the thing that's the thing that I find to be, that's the only thing about this whole process at this point, as of today, that I find to be the most infuriating and frustrating, is that you have folks who are making these decisions and who are having these conversations and do not have the experts in the SMEs, the
Right.
subject matter experts
Okay,
in the room.
we're assuming that, but how do we know that?
And if you do, because that's what they'll tell us, that we do have experts, we do have advisors. Okay, who?
Now, we are on the same page.
Yeah,
It's almost
so
like
who
you're
is
doing
fe-
your
yeah,
impression of
yeah,
me,
yeah.
only
Who-
more
who-
eloquently.
Who is feeding you the kind of who is feeding you the kind of information that leads you to feel as though this is the best course of action?
Yeah.
Whereas, which is totally in opposition of what
You want a
these
soundbite?
SMEs are.
I got you a soundbite.
Okay.
And I think you'll agree, it's great to start and finish with. Your decisions are only as good as the information they're based on.
I agree. I
So,
totally agree.
that leads into, therefore, we need to know, listen, my friend, I found it so difficult when Al Gore was running for president and made this statement to the country, medical marijuana, well, I think the experts whose opinion I trust have said that there's other things at work as well. Okay. The question then was always, who are the experts? Now, I asked that and said because Cheryl is not finding anything satisfactory. So if you're telling me you know of experts who say there is
Right.
something, we want to know what it is so
Yes.
she can try it.
Yes.
In other words, we're saying if you blow us off, what you're saying is there's something that'll work, but nah, we're not going to tell Cheryl, Yeah, go ahead and do that and see what happens. So
Yeah,
this is
that's
why
what I was going to ask.
That's why
so
we had the
if you
big
know,
protest.
so if you know,
Well, he would never answer.
If your answer is based upon,
So what do we want?
there is a better alternative. What is it? And
Okay,
who told
so
you?
here's the word. Here's the key word that we got to start talking about. Transparency.
Yeah, I mean,
Not behind
yeah.
closed doors. People have heard behind closed doors. When I say transparency is we want to know which way things are going before it's written in stone. Because this is where we butt heads. We don't have a vote.
Let me stop you. Overall, big picture. Here's the thing. You got to know. It'd be nice to know, and I can only speculate and guess, but basically,
Calls for speculation.
basically, what I want to know is how are we talked about in there?
It's a good question.
Like when you who are we? Who us? Me, you, Lefty. Jesse, Ken Wolski. Who are we in there? When you talk about us, what do you say? Them crazy ass people out there out front, or the guy? Like, who are we? Because see, that tells you. Because when there's a turnover, and there will be a turnover when the next administration comes in.
There's a turnover during administration of key players.
Yeah, what I'm saying is that when the new regime comes in, and they do
how are we perceived?
and they do their right seat ride.
Yeah.
How is the person in the left seat? What is the description that they're giving them about us? Because that's going to do is that's going to formulate how they choose to deal
Some
with us.
should
or not.
already have an opinion, at least a little bit. I know it's hard cracking the consciousness of people with the attention span of a rock, but the coalition's been around a long time, and we're here every week, and I set this sign up so people keep seeing it. It's what other game in town is better than us? And I don't think anybody pops to mind. The DPA has more resources, but they have a wider range of concerns than we do. We're pretty focused on cannabis.
I actually talked to Megan Glazer a couple of days ago.
Yeah,
and
I like her.
I do
She's
too.
good.
And she, one of the things that she told me, and it was crazy because I said, at this point, as far as Leo Bridgewater is concerned, from an individual standpoint, my attention is now on the city of Trenton, because now that PTSD has been approved, I see that the city suffers half the city suffers from PTSD. So at this point, this is now a rescue operation.
Yeah.
We have to get medicine.
Well, you've always said this is what you would have an interest in.
Yeah.
And you know that you can overlap things you do that it's going to be a year's process, but if you start now and start getting it into their consciousness that, if you can find out, is there a way to get a reduced rate on the kind of care that might produce that diagnosis when it is in fact post-traumatic stress?
Well,
that's going to be something.
That's a caveat
first.
that's a caveat of an even broader conversation.
Yeah.
That will only take place. That needs to take place now. Like, one of the things that I was telling my neighbor was that the state, I would like the city of Trenton to be in lockstep with the state in terms of positioning itself for when this thing really goes. We need to start having, because there is zero conversation happening within the city of Trenton. It's not like, it's different than here, because here, at least we're acknowledged sometimes, we're brushed off, that's fine. But as far as locally, as far as the city, zero conversation.
Yeah.
And the reason, one of the biggest reasons why it's zero conversation is because all it would really do, if you was to actually have a conversation, now you're validating New Jersey weed man, Ed Fortune. And see, right now, Ed Fortune is considered enemy of the state as far as the local municipality is concerned, considering everything that you see that's happening with him. So you have to have a full understanding of the grand scope that is this cause, because as far as outside opinion is concerned, they're not even, they're so far behind that the things that they're worried about are old to us.
Yeah.
In terms of, like what are you doing? Like even with what they're talking about maybe doing as far as taking guns away from patients, as far as I even read where they're talking about you would even have to go through oxycodone, Percocet, fentanyl, and all that stuff before you can get to the marijuana. Now, again, I'm saying you already have an opioid abuse and addiction epidemic in this state. And in order for us to get to the thing that's going to help us get away from that, you're actually going to point us towards it. Yeah, you want us on these pills.
You got to.
So you're going to create
more.
more.
Boil that down to a sound bite. I mean, in other words, a sound bite that begins and ends what you just said, where that explains the sound bite, maybe.
Well, no. See, that's the point. I'm not trying to. See, this is a.
I know you're not trying.
No.
No.
Hear me out. Let me finish the full thought.
But that's why you need a sound bite, because it takes a long time sometimes.
I'm not talking about saying all these things to this current administration. All I'm saying is that these are things that are part of the broader, bigger conversation.
Let me steer you on a 90-degree turn here. I think we should have the conversation with them that we know is going to be fruitless, in a way that other people see us having this fruitless conversation, yet nonetheless having it. So when this administration moves that way and somebody else comes in, they'll have already seen us going up against somebody. They'll know that we've been asking the right questions, and they'll see, you poor suckers didn't have a chance of getting an answer. But we know that going in. It's, did you see what they said? If we get to do that, there was a good Cheers episode about this. I mean, you really get attention.
But that's not. But
we don't waste time on it. We don't waste
Jim,
time.
That's not. But here's the problem. I agree with.
Good.
I agree with continuing to try to have the conversation. What I'm saying is that, one, we're never going to have this conversation with this current administration. We'll never be invited to the table.
Never say
well,
never.
No.
I had a talk with John O'Brien, so it can happen. I mean, we talk.
I'm talking about
freely.
actually being invited to the table to take part in real conversation and dialogue.
Donald Trump says it happens, it happens.
Now, here's the thing. We can continue to keep trying to have the conversation, which I think it does. Which I think it does serve a purpose to continue
to
trying.
be denied. We
Yes,
can't just say
being denied,
they won't have the conversation.
Yeah.
We have to say they refuse to have it. There's a difference between they won't and they refuse. We need to make sure it's refused. And what I'm saying is we don't spend a whole lot of time on getting them to refuse. The only time we spend is how can we get it into the public eye so everybody else goes, all they want is to be able to give advice without even having a vote, and they're not heard. They don't want to hear. Now we can prove they don't want to hear. We can at least add a lot of weight to it, but we also show other people when, cones, for instance, somebody else is going, look, I don't want whatever got him to set up the cones with this governor. I don't want we don't want them to approach us like that. I'm hoping. How do you walk the line, Leo? Because you walk a pretty good line, and I walk a line leaning more a little towards activism, and I think you have a pragmatic view of things that I gain a lot of insight for. That's why I listen to everything you say. But we got to be able to walk the line to say, yeah, listen, we're good. We're not going to bite. We have a lot of information, but you mess with us, we will screw you over. How do we walk that line and be both? Where,
I give you,
you know,
an example. The other day, I was on a bus going to
you know
school,
what I mean.
and bunch of kids. This was last night. Bunch of kids get on the bus, and we were leaving school, coming home, and so these dudes, they're in the back of the bus, and they're cutting up just like regular kids do or whatever. And so one of them, the bus made a turn and he fell into me. He said, I'm sorry, man. I said, no problem. And I said, but let me ask you something. And I looked at all of them and I said, are you guys aware of what you look like?
Oh man.
And they said, what? And I said, are you aware of what? Do you know what you?
I said, do you know what you look like?
Do I stutter?
Do you know what you look like to everybody else on the bus?
Sir. No, what do
and
we
they were
look
like,
sir?
and I said, let me ask you something. I said, you guys are in college, right? And he said, yes.
Sir.
And they said, yes. I said, okay. What's the difference between
don't hurt
you
me.
and the way you're conducting yourself?
Whatever you say
versus,
it is.
Let me finish. What's the difference between you and a bunch of guys like you who
Your
were
point
in high,
is well taken.
who were in high school? What makes you what makes you look any different than you were?
First of all, how are they cutting up? Explain cutting up to me.
Oh, what is it?
Fighting?
Horsing around on the bus.
Fighting?
Yeah, man.
Severe
just
horsing around.
No, just joking and pushing each other around. No, nothing crazy or anything like that. Just
Kinda
they look
like
like
the
they were in
guys
high
in-
school.
yeah,
They look like a bunch of kids in high school, really. And the only reason why I said something is because they got on the bus when I did, and we were leaving Mercer County.
Yeah, how old were they be about?
You figure if they're
Well,
freshmen in high school,
yeah.
they got to be at least 18, 19
I think you're a
years
little
old.
uptight, Lee. I think they're having fun.
Well, yeah, again, yes, but what's the difference?
I've
But
seen
you
Grease,
can't.
you
If
know.
it weren't for the fact that we were coming from school, are you aware of what you look like? And see, here's the thing, particularly within the African American community, we do not police each other. We do not police ourselves. And
Now,
we do,
am I
wait, not
assuming
stop.
this is an
Wait.
African American crowd?
Yeah,
You
yes,
got we need the visual
yes.
here.
So
Okay.
as a elder,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? One of the things that growing up, I was always taught, respect your elders.
Yeah,
And if someone is willing to impart some wisdom onto you, you show them that, you give them that respect by stopping and listening. And so that's what this whole point of this conversation was at
Or
the time.
being scared of them.
Well,
Get you to listen to, right?
no. Respect. Please do not confuse respect.
No, I'm
with
talking
with
from the
fear.
kid's point of view. you
Again,
know.
no.
Well, no, this
Gotta
is right. You're right. This is why they should be doing it. But
You're a big guy.
I remember being 15 and in high school, and if somebody correctly challenged me like that, I'd be listening like.
And that
okay,
was,
you
but
know,
that
while-
was what I.
while-
But
while
you just
kids
hit the, wait a minute,
respect
you
their
just,
parents,
You just
but
hit
they
the,
do things because they fear their dad.
But
too,
you just
right.
Yeah.
But you just hit the nail on the head.
I was scared of the nuns too.
And no, you just hit the nail on the head.
Rulers, man.
We're not talking about 15-year-olds.
Yeah.
We're talking about black men in college. And that's what I was trying to point out.
Oh,
to
so they
them.
were in college and they were
I
acting
said
like they were in
we
high
were
school.
leaving. The
Well, when I
school,
asked
yeah.
how old they were, I thought you were saying, well, they're like had to be 15 or 16.
No, I
Yeah.
said 18, 19.
Oh.
Yeah, that which if they were freshmen. I'm just saying. And the whole point that I was trying to make
How'd
was,
it work out? Did they listen?
Yeah. You let me finish.
Well, you got to shorten it. You got to shorten it up, Ralph. Hey, Ralph, buddy, come on.
Wait. You're telling him to shorten it up?
Yeah,
Wait
that's
a
what
minute.
I'm
Wait a minute.
No, I'm
like,
ju-
are
I'm-
you
I'm just
serious?
saying.
I'm leaving.
Yeah, me too. Hold on, man. I'm coming with you. Man, are you serious?
No, I'm
really
look.
like I need to shorten up. Really? Jim, you
you-
won't even let me finish a full thought.
It's hard to follow at times.
No, I was-
I know what you're saying because I know what you're saying. Imagine somebody that's really trying to grasp this.
I want to know what happened.
I know, me too. Yeah, but I can't because he keeps.
I want to know what happened.
What happened?
So
What happened?
so they all stopped and they were listening, and I kept explaining to them, listen, man, this ain't me coming down on you. This is me just pointing something out to you. If you were somebody who had your zipper down, I'd tell you your zipper was down. So this is a
Well, why are you looking there, huh?
This is just
why are you looking there?
You know,
Huh?
or if
Huh?
a female had her slip showing, you tell her, hey,
Yeah,
look,
why are
your
you
slip
looking there?
showing.
Why are you
So-
looking at my butt, man? Huh?
So they're
what I get.
sitting there, and I'm explaining to them. I said, listen, right now you're in college, but there's nothing about you that says college. Everything about the way you're acting or talking, everything says high school. And so you could see that the wheels were spinning, and that I was like, basically, dude, you're not in the place where you could do that anymore. You need to elevate yourself. And so basically, they
good
became,
advice.
and it was all about making them self-aware. And what we have to be is we have to be truly self-aware of how we look to them.
Yeah.
And so I'm aware. So for me, in my head, I have an idea how we must look to them. And the reason and what really gave me that idea is every Thursday, how many times you see people walking up and down the street,
Yes.
and you see how they look at you?
Yeah.
You see how they laugh at you?
No, so
You
a lot
see-
don't. I think we have a fairly respectable looking
No.
podcast.
Yeah, I think so too. But no, but you are still we are still
Well,
laughed
we
at.
draw support from a varied group of people,
I'm not disputing that. What I'm saying to you
which is the view
do
that
you,
people
yeah,
see.
Yes, this is what
Well,
we
I'm just
look
saying
like.
we
And-
can't control.
No.
That look.
No.
Too much. I'm
But
looking.
what you can do is, you weren't distracted. So
I'm just
what
saying,
you could do is
point in fact.
Yes. So we draw that.
Barney Frank talked about this years ago. Well, no, but listen, it's a conversation, though. I'm
Right.
agreeing. And also, it's like sometimes when what you call interrupting, it's I'm listening, trying to be like every man, and if I interrupt to say were they African American or not, I'll wait. If I interrupt to say, well, are the people you're talking to African American or not, I interrupted because without doing it, I want people to get a clear picture. And if there's something that I, for a moment, get confused about, it's supposed to be an interjection where, boom, knock it out, and then
but
down the road.
but had you just sat back and listened, you would have got the answer to your question without interrupting.
Not within the same minute, though.
So I have to cater to you.
Oh, my
or
God.
rather than me just tell the story the way I know it.
No, you don't have to cater to me, but if I'm trying to be a one-man focus group, which is what we all do. In other words, if I was...
This is my thing where I turn off their mics and I just take over the show because they're being two little babies. And I'm going to talk to Jekka. Jekka Sexy. Jekka's here. Hi, Jekka. How are you?
Hello.
You really don't want to do that.
Don't.
Well, there's something to be learned here.
Jim.
First of
No,
all,
I
let me
know,
ask
I
you
know.
something.
This is good.
Honest to God, are you at all upset? Because I don't think you are, and I'm
Upset
not.
about what?
I don't. About we're not. We're having a conversation that, in the end, turns, I think, to be a healthy conversation. And whether or not we're doing what we're doing, you're my friend. I love how you do things. You're always going to have a microphone at this table. But this comes
This
with
is just
it.
all
This-
we
come
doing
on,
is
this
just
comes with it.
reestablishing the rules of engagement.
Yeah,
Okay.
because they change at times. But I know that you're not taking it,
Yeah, I
or
am.
you should not be taking it personal. I hope
Yeah,
you're
it's
not.
like it's
And
like
I'm
hurry
not
up and
as
wait.
well.
Yeah,
I'm not as well.
The thing is that again.
You turned your mic
no,
off too,
yeah,
man. Stick up for me here.
Man, I don't care about Lefty. He doing all kinds. He always doing stuff. Here's the thing: when you look again, and once I realize how I surmise that they may think of us and how they may look at us, then I'm able to operate in terms of,
What could we do?
well, first of all, understand what you look like to them.
Okay.
And then how you're talked about.
Looking at us, what would a suggestion be? No, because there are to be made. This is not
Yeah. Oh, like,
rhetorical
all right.
facetious.
I gave
I'm
I
asking
saw.
for real.
I think I was with you.
I got a better
I
shirt
ran
to
into a old schoolmate of mine.
Yeah.
And I hadn't seen her in 30 years. And she said, "Are you with them over there across the street talking about the marijuana?" And I said, "Yeah." And this is the first thing she did. And I was like, "See."
Was that us or a preconceived idea she had? Or a
it was
combination?
And she works in here.
Yeah, so she's seen
So
us before, maybe.
she's seen us before.
So it could be part of our presentation.
So when she went, that means that we get on their nerves.
What about his shirt?
That I have gotten a lot of questions about that.
Yeah.
What type of
And,
questions?
Don't
shoot, I'm
Wearing
white.
mine.
People yeah, no, I see. Yeah,
Don't shoot, I'm white.
Looks
Yeah,
good
a
on
lot
you.
of
She
people
wears it better than I do.
You look
she does. I was
longer
gonna
at
say,
hers
yeah,
than
I
his,
sure
I'm
did.
just
I'm sorry.
saying.
And it was right. I tried. Not to, but got him.
Look at the
I can
T's
get
and
a
the
lot
D
of
and the
people
S.
to look at this phrase.
Most of the T's.
Yeah,
The T's. The two T's.
Yeah. I was like, damn.
The T's are nice.
Yeah, they are. The D and the S and the F. The best looking D and S I've ever seen.
Whoa,
And
did
T.
you just say
This
the
shirt
best
is
looking?
so not offensive when it's on me. I'm like, I'm not offended at all.
No. People ask me, what's her shirt say? It says something?
It says something.
What it say? What it say?
It's womada
It says,
womada.
"Don't shoot me, I'm white."
Show me again. Look, lefty. Look, show me again.
There it is, baby.
Yeah,
There
right.
it is.
Yeah,
there it
it's-
is. Like
So
it?
anyway.
Yeah.
Are you offended? Are
Not
you
at
offended?
all. Not at all.
All right, all right.
I'd
That's
say we
awesome.
milked that one long enough. Oh, wait a minute. You can't say that.
Milked it? Did you say milked it?
Hey, have we talked about? Did we talk about the PTSD bill?
Oh.
Did we
listen,
talk
lady.
about the
Yes.
PTSD bill?
Leo, what are you going to do when they come to take your guns away? What are you going to do?
Oh wow! And that's really.
Hey, did
deep.
you know you?
That's
were,
not
hey,
gonna
last
happen.
week when you shook his hand and you all did you ever think that I was right last week?
Oh, when
Now
we,
what?
Yeah, you know what? Yeah,
Oh,
it wasn't
took it
until
back. I took it back.
it wasn't until I got home and then I started reading the full thing and I'm like, this mother. I knew it was too good to be true.
I
I knew
know.
it was too clean.
I
It was
shook
too
his
good.
hand.
Yeah, I was
too.
like,
First
okay.
of all,
defended.
we don't. Okay, we need to see what the regulations are. First, we know
Right.
they're coming, and I'm already
Right,
offended
there's nothing
too.
constant.
But we can't
concrete.
attack.
Yeah.
We can't attack
them
somebody
yet.
that's not
Yeah, we
there
can't.
yet.
We cannot. We cannot.
We
Here's
gotta
the thing.
wait for
This is
them
what-
to come on
online.
shore.
No.
No, they are taking guns away from people that are patients, though.
No. Listen.
No, they're
listen.
not. Don't listen
to
Listen.
them.
Listen. What
Oh,
we
I
cannot.
thought I read it.
No.
Here's
You
the
read
thing.
what he
It's
wrote.
what
He was kidding.
No, I wasn't kidding.
No, listen.
kidding.
Until it
You're an
is
alarmist, man.
officially a rule, it's
You're
not
going too
official
far
yet.
for the
As far as
podcast.
the extra stuff, the like taking away of the guns, having to take the medicine and all that stuff. It's not official yet because the Department of Health hasn't put it out yet. Until
But
once
that's the guideline.
you,
yeah,
man.
it will.
1 ounce a month.
Yeah, that's what they're talking about.
Have to have a
Stir
psych
it
psych
up.
doctor sign it.
It may not necessarily be exactly put like this. Until all of that is official,
Well,
we
when-
can't say nothing. We can't. And if
You can't say-
nope, can't say anything. Can't attack somebody for something that they didn't actually write down yet.
Oh.
You can't attack
I
somebody
thought
for
it
talking
was-
about.
Yeah, you
doing
could
something.
attack Lefty for making
You
you
can't
think
attack
that.
like we can't attack nobody for what they talk about.
Yeah, who
doing.
thinks up this crap?
Once
Oh,
they,
thanks.
that's how it works.
These rules, they get me every time. They
Yeah,
get
sick.
me.
Yeah.
All right, all right, all right.
Because see, here's
Yeah.
the thing: you could go at him, and he'll say, "What are you talking about? It's not even in there."
Right,
Okay,
exactly.
but there is stuff.
And then you'll be like,
Doesn't mean
"Well,
we.
that's what you're talking about." Now, how you look?
Doesn't mean we. It doesn't
You know what
mean
I'm
we
saying?
can't do nothing.
It's not like you can't say, now look, if you're thinking about putting that in there, you need to stop. That's how you got to come at
Well,
them.
that's why I was saying that because I knew that these were going to come forth. These were
right.
all.
Yeah.
These are the
We
guidelines.
thought-
and
we
everything.
thought
more
he
coming.
would- he
There's
would-
more. There's more
he'd-
coming.
He'd mark his territory on this one too. You know, that's what he's
well,
doing.
he's, it's sort of kind of like you can't take him at
Well,
face
dog
value.
marks territory actually.
You can't take what
Skid
he's
marks.
saying. Yeah, you can't take. So what we have to do is we have to position ourselves so that no matter which way he comes at it, no matter no matter how it drops, we're in position to make sure that we're heard, and that this is
This is the
pointed out
truest thing in the. Anybody could understand. Yes, we need to. What it is how do we do that now? Now, one thing is we have legislators. If your legislators voted in favor of this bill, constituents have to get in touch with the legislators who voted to pass it and say, here's our concerns, and that we want you to be part of the things that's watching. As they said in New Jersey TV's report, the best report done on this on TV or in the media as far as I'm concerned, it said that legislators and advocates alike will be watching. Right. That's what we need to do. But we have representatives. They have a voice that we don't have. They have a seat at the table that we don't have.
Yeah, we got to get this.
My
we gotta get
people
to talking to
voted
them.
against
Yeah.
it. And in your case, you might as well skip your Senator Dick Cody.
Senator Dick?
Cody.
Well, look.
Now I got to stay close to the mic for about 5 minutes.
When I talked to Megan Glazer at DPA, right?
Who's okay?
And she says, you know, I told her that, hey, look, I'm thinking local. Like I'm trying to figure out how we can do things on a local level. Blah 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 blah. And I said I would like to introduce another resolution like Ken Wolski did in Trenton. You know, talking about, you know, we need to start having constructive conversation about medicinal marijuana. And she said, Leo, we're thinking full decrim. Really? She said, yeah. I said, we're thinking full decrim.
Full decrim? What? I don't.
Decriminalization.
For where?
Where?
Just the state?
The state of
No,
New
I
Jersey.
mean it always
State.
starts with
Now,
decrim, but
then I so
Peaceful.
she sent me an email and everything, and I was, you know, reading everything, and then she says, and then I read that Reed Guciara is also pushing for full decrim,
Yeah.
and so I'm more or less looking at, okay, maybe I'm the one who might have been thinking a little too small, and maybe I need to think even bigger, particularly here on the local level. And as I said before, now that PTSD has been added, half the city suffers from PTSD. This is now a rescue operation because we got to get this medicine into the community, because we have a opioid abuse and addiction epidemic in this city.
It would be huge.
Yes, it would be. And here's the thing. I think you and I talked about this on the phone one night when I was explaining how Trenton, New Jersey being, first of all, it's the capital city of New Jersey, but it's only 7 square miles. And so this could be, you remember how you were saying, oh man, Trenton could be your model. It could be, you know, you could
Capital
do things.
city.
Yeah, you could do things here and see how it works, and you only have a small area to cover. And then whatever model you may have, you could actually try it out here in this city, and then tweak it however you need to, and then take that model and then disperse it throughout the country. Because we're small enough that you can a lot of things can happen here that you can monitor without it being such a logistical nightmare.
What happened with the lowest priority initiative in Trenton, Lefty? Do you know? You remember how that worked out?
What's that?
A successful one was passed in Asbury Park.
Yes.
The
I've
town
never
council.
heard of it.
The town council has a resolution, not a law, no teeth, but a resolution announcing that marijuana would be their lowest police enforcement priority in Asbury Park. Randy Thompson got that done, and it offers a good template, a model. Now, what was the effort here? Did somebody? I don't recall, because I think it ended up.
Is that the thing Ken was trying to?
Did Randy help with that?
And they
here?
shot it down.
Yeah, they shut it down. We rolled the
Yeah.
joint on the podium, and
I was there for that.
didn't go
Yeah,
good.
but see, if
I was there for that.
This is the town, then this is the mindset of this town council that they don't even want to talk about lowest initiative to get them to back something greater, skipping over that. Not that it can't be done.
This is a corrupt town, Jim.
Yeah, not
It's a
that it
corrupt
can't be
town where
done.
police are actually raping hookers and back in
And
alleyways.
you see the guy killed himself.
And he killed himself. So either he killed himself or other people took him out to cover up some other people doing the same stuff. Because he's the only one? He's the only cop that's banging a hooker? Really?
You're gonna have to look far and wide to find somebody that's surprised something like that would go on.
Let me
in
tell
this
you,
or any
the
other
fact that this
comparable
man
town.
thought to do that there, take her there, and do all of that, tells you that somebody else made it okay. That he wasn't.
Well,
that
this
wasn't the
is-
first
okay,
time he
then
did
thi-
it.
this is what-
and that
this
wasn't
is
the.
kind
He
of
wasn't
what
the
you're
only
up
one.
against here.
Yeah.
I got a
This is
problem
the
with that.
thinking.
Yeah.
This is the type of thinking.
But yet
that
they
we're dealing
victimize
with.
the weed man.
Yeah.
Ed Fortune is the one they're going after.
So
Great.
And remember when on my first time, talking at 420, what did I say? I put it square on the people. If votes were money, we're getting our money's worth. We're not. We're getting exactly what we paid for. 9,000 people only voted. When you only have 9,000 people voting, this is the type of administration you get.
One less
This is the
rapist.
type of-
One less rapist will be voting this year.
Yeah, see what I'm saying?
One less rapist. How about that?
And mind you, he don't live in Trenton.
Oh, well, he wouldn't-
Majority of these cops don't live in Trenton. They don't live in Trenton.
Yeah, why would they?
Yeah. You
Why, they
kidding
know
me?
better.
Yeah. But and see, they recently did they had like 5,000 people apply for police officer jobs here in the city of Trenton at a much lower rate than what they were getting before they were coming in as rookies. So again, it's the type of thinking that we have. Hey, look, we had all these shootings over the summer, and the mayor decided, what the mayor's plan was? We're going to enact a curfew, and if you get caught, guess what we're going to do to you? We're going to take you to church. That's what they were going to do. Drop the kids off at church, and then have their
the priest will rape you like the police do.
Hey, you know what?
You either get raped by the police or raped by the priests in this town.
But
take your choice.
Here's the thing: when this is the capital city of the second wealthiest state in the country. And the guy who used to work at the water department is the mayor.
I think I want a priest going after me. Cops are kind of dirty. I'd rather have a priest. Just saying.
Right? That don't even.
This is shocking.
Makes sense.
This whole
Right,
thing's
but
shocking.
I'm just saying, like that. Like, remember when I said how we look?
Yeah. How do we look?
How do we look?
How do we look now? How about now? How about now?
I mean, I'm just saying,
now?
I'm just saying, when you look at everything, when you look at how this is going on, like none of the city council members got in with over like 20, no one got more than 2,500 votes. And that's your city. That's the city council of the capital city of the second wealthiest state in the country. And this is what you got? Oh, okay. Now, here's the thing. As a property owner, I'm saying to myself, this is what I'm paying for. I'm paying for these types of schools. I'm paying every time a police officer does the things that they do. I got to pay for that. I have to pay for that. That's my.
You're paying for that hooker.
Listen, I live in a historical.
How much is that hooker, Leo?
I live in Mill Hill. I pay $11,000 a year in taxes.
Plus $20 hookers.
This is what I'm getting
for
for
the police.
my money. Oh.
Police get $20 hookers.
Oh, really?
So you have to add that into your taxes this year.
This
$20
is,
hookers for the police.
Yeah, this is what we get. Oh, okay. So remember when I said if votes were money, this is what you get. This is what we get in our. This is what we get for our 9,000 votes, right here. And then you wonder why when people in this building, that's how we end up becoming the punchline to a lot of jokes. That's how we. That's the thing. That's what makes us. That's how they laugh. That's what makes it. And mind you, these people drive into this city and they drive through a war zone, and we're just a joke to them. See,
every joke has a victim. And
Exactly.
unfortunately, this whole town has been victimized.
Mm-hmm. And so here's the thing. You see this every day. You walk by. I mean, come on. You see people riding by, walking by with no shirt on, pants halfway off their behinds, walking down the street, and that's okay.
How about the ones in the walkers who have barely any shoes on, and the walkers coming up here, they need medicine, they can't afford anything.
Yeah, exactly. See.
How about those people too?
It's all about the thinking. It's all about the thinking. It's like we call it psyops. One of the biggest mistakes we made in Baghdad was we did a terrible job of explaining to the people of Iraq what exactly change looks like and how long it takes. They truly thought today Saddam's here, tomorrow he's gone, everything is beautiful. They didn't realize it don't work that way.
Well, we're talking that way about Christie, as if he's going to leave and things are going to be beautiful here. We need to educate ourselves on
and that's
how
why I'm
it's gonna work a
saying
little
we
better.
need to have these kinds of conversations so that when that turnover happens, we are also we know time-wise and what it's supposed to look like and how long it takes, and it's been explained. That's why I go as long as I do.
We have an
and speak
election
like I do.
cycle coming up next year that's going to usher out the Christie administration.
Right, we got
we
15
also
months.
have to be really active in both incumbents and challengers where they stand on this, and we got to spend some time making them make it an issue.
Well, and what we got to do is we got to get to know who the top 4 contenders are, and we need to get to know them, and they need to get to know us during the next 15
Yeah,
months.
but we
Senator
need to do that
Dick.
for the assembly. I mean, there's going to be assembly races. We have Cody. This is like a 10-second delay on that.
Well,
Every time he's a senator, Dick, I got to say
there's
Cody.
no fear factor
'cause
with
that's
us.
his name.
So what you have,
Otherwise,
so what
he's
we
just
have to
a
do.
dick,
So your
right?
boy Cody, he's coming up for re-election.
Yeah. Oh,
okay.
well, that's every
So
4
we-
years. It
so-
might
Yeah.
not be. Might
Okay,
not
all
be.
right. So what we need to do is we got to find everyone who's coming up for re-election,
Sweeney, right?
and then we have to find out who if this guy's an ally or a foe, and then if he's a foe, then we have to find out who's his greatest adversary at that point, and then back that guy.
FAUX foe? You mean? Foe?
FOE.
FAUX.
Oh, I
No,
thought he
that's
meant. I thought
FOE.
he meant an M.
No, friend or foe.
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 Oh, I
Foe.
thought.
No, I
I
like
thought.
foe.
I thought he shortened mofo even shorter.
No, as in friend or foe.
Foe.
You so
He's a
old
foe,
school,
man.
mofo. This is so old school guy.
MOFAUX. That's a new word.
Mofo.
Mofo.
So,
Yeah, well, that's old school.
Jim, let me break in for a second because I'm still confused about
Poor
this
Jackie.
thing.
She's-
I know.
I'm sorry, yeah,
no,
she's
you
sitting here
don't
this whole time.
understand how upset I am
Question.
about this PTSD
Okay,
bill.
about what in particular?
What I want to know is, okay, so he's already signed it, and
Right.
it's gone over to the Department of Health, and then they will implement things.
Okay.
That he tells them to put in.
Right.
Well,
But how do you prevent at this point?
They
how do
will
you
announce it, and then we attack you, and not just we attack because we don't have teeth. What we do is we demand legislators who voted for this to happen
To step
that they
up.
attack,
Okay,
that they
but
do
so
something about it.
Is it already? So it's already.
It won't be
voted?
written in stone. No.
It's not voted
No.
yet.
No.
No,
So
not yet.
so who has the final say?
DOA, Department of Health.
Like, do you? So the Department of Health.
Right.
Okay, but how do you get them to not sign it prior to signing it? Is what I'm saying.
Well, we've been very
Well, they're under
unsuccessful in
orders,
actually
yeah.
achieving things like that.
They're under orders from the governor.
Well, okay, now the bullyocracy for Christie means that he doesn't actually have to tell them that. He has to just say,
Imply it.
here's what I'm directing you to do, and then they got to say, well, we better put up some roadblocks because that's what he wants. That's how the cones got put out.
Roadblocks? Did you say
That's-
roadblocks?
That's
Yes,
how the
yes.
cones got put
Yes,
out.
and these are the things that will be
bullyocracy.
gone
But
with the
yeah.
new administration. That's
and,
what
and
I'm.
because
I'm,
there is a new administration coming in, he's not running for election because he can. His influence as a bully doesn't carry weight because he can't affect what you're doing
Yeah,
next year
yeah.
already.
He's-
In other words, he's
he'll-
not going to jeopardize the legislator's committee assignment.
Yeah, he's dead man walking right now.
Yeah.
He's like he's dead
He-
man
he
walking.
he
He's on
already
his-
is, yeah.
because that bridge thing is not going. Is going to come back to bite
It's a
him. in
pot
the-
blocker and
Yeah,
a bridge blocker.
Yeah, we're
Yeah.
going to. I hear people are keeping it in the public eye.
Yeah, well, I like I said, at this point, what we really everything that we want, like the moment, will be when he's gone,
Yeah.
and then we get the new guy. The new guy comes in.
But then you
and
have to change something instead of preventing it from.
This is
But
this is
we can't.
why
we
we're
can't
here
prevent
now.
it. Yeah, we can't
Yeah.
prevent.
Yeah.
We cannot stop Chris. We cannot stop him from doing what he's going to do.
But who do you contact in the Department of Health to make
Well-
sure that they have the information
You,
that
you,
states
they have a
it'll
contact line. You
Yeah.
do that, but
Pocket.
you go to your legislators. They're the ones with the power. If you live in New Jersey, you have
So-
legislators.
But you know who my guy is?
yeah,
Cody.
Senator Dick.
Cody.
And he ain't going to listen
and
to me.
they
He doesn't
have
care.
the power to influence the Department
Well,
of Health.
what he's
don't
saying
care.
is, if he does have the power to influence them, we're gonna have to tie him down because
Yeah.
he's really against
They
it.
don't care. These
He-
politicians don't care.
He's one of the ones that. But so if he's up for election, then you find the guy who's
Yeah.
going against him,
Or,
and then we
we're
back
gonna, or
him.
we just have some fun at his office because he keeps voting against
Yeah,
it.
let's do that.
And we
I
do
like
that,
that.
and then other legislators go, we don't want any of that.
Yeah.
And
Let's
he
do that.
he's going to be a target before. I don't want him out of office yet.
No, I want to do kabuki theater out front of his office. with some
Whatever
smoke.
whatever gets under his skin, he's a throwaway, and we get to have a little fun.
He's a phony.
We work off a little aggression. I feel like crap today. Let's go to Senator Dick Cody's office.
I wasn't going to complete that for you. So
Yeah, I know. I forgot it goes the other way.
I
That's a
noticed how you
one-way door.
stopped and let him go. Like,
Yeah, right. No,
Say it.
Jim, you say it
Yeah,
quick.
you say it.
I'm not going to correct me.
because Senator Dick is a dick.
Cody.
so the thing is that
The description.
we
fair.
for us, we just have to basically we got 15 months to position ourselves for the next guy,
Yep.
and we got to find out who that next guy is and back that guy. That's what we got to do. So that going in, the guy going in, he goes in with us as friends. We're people that we're the one we're one of the people that whose advice they may seek to try to counsel with in these regards.
There's a legitimate 8 candidates combining Republicans and Democrats. There's like 20 people are already talking about to fill the governor's spot. So it's going to be a very good primary season for us to try to have this interjected. If somebody's talking, we've got to get there and ask the question.
Well, somebody, and also somebody. It has to get to a point where if you're running for governor of the state of New Jersey, you do need to come talk to the Coalition of Medical Marijuana New Jersey.
It'll be in your best interest.
It would be you. You need to come. This is a set of constituents that you actually need to come talk to. That's where we get our political proudness from. That's where we get our backing from. That's where we get our stature within this building right here. Because as far as this building is concerned right now, we're jokes. Well, we were, but they laughed that they didn't think this was going to happen. We even had, remember Megan Glaze from DPA said he'll never sign it.
Yep.
Oh,
That's
right.
what I remember.
Let's call her. Let's call her up.
You can only ignore
because
science for so
she'll
long
have been
before you start looking
right
like an
that he
idiot.
shouldn't
though.
have signed
Right,
it or
and
something.
so for
Couldn't have
us,
messed it up.
she but she was just echoing what a lot of other people thought. You know what I'm saying? They see this right here and they think.
He said, I can do better than not sign it. I'll sign it and screw it up.
Yeah.
Right now, this is the problem. Like with
Give him credit. That was a
PTSD in
good
this
move
bill, this
for him.
this is the biggest problem, and the person that this is the most unfair to are the ones that are blocked access all over the place right now. Is the veterans.
Yeah.
Now, so here you're gonna tell a veteran who's back from war, disabled now because of PTSD, anxiety. They've fought wars for you.
Mm-hmm.
They dodged bullets for you.
And some didn't dodge them that well.
Some didn't dodge them well at all. And now, in order to help you, you better give us back your guns. What the heck?
And not only that though, give us back your gun. Give us your gun,
That's
and
not
then
gonna
and then go take Percocet, oxycodone,
And
all
drink.
that
All
stuff,
that.
fentanyl. We want you to take all that first.
Let's get you
and then
some
I want you to
Depakote.
tell me
Some
that after you take
Xanax.
after you take all those medicines,
Some
that
lithium.
it didn't work for you, and then you can get it. So basically, you want me to add on to what is already an abuse and addiction epidemic, which is opioids. You want me to take that stuff so that I can get the thing that I want to have, so that I don't have to be on this stuff.
Yeah, that makes a little
Yeah,
no sense.
yeah.
And it's
Again, oxymoronic politics. And so at this point, one of the best things about Donald Trump running for president is that he's put such a bad taste for politics in people's mouths that they're no longer taking most people who don't even pay that close attention we're not even taking it no more. All y'all got to go. You've been BSing for way too long. You've been talking this type of junk for way too long. Y'all got to go because we ain't got time for it. I guarantee right now, so many people are missing Bernie Sanders.
I don't understand.
So many
how
people
you
are
can-
missing Bernie Sanders.
We are candidates right now. How can you blame the people for not wanting to be involved when our major candidates are a turd sandwich
Exactly.
and a giant
See why I
douche?
said I bet you people missing
Well,
Bernie Sanders right
well,
now.
But see, that is subjective. And let me finish. See, I said that before anybody even tried to not let me finish. What I'm saying is you're offering a subjective point, meaning this is how you consider them, when we have, I think, a very good objective point, is that the poll ratings. The poll ratings say that these are the 2 lowest approval ratings of any major party candidates in the history of approval measures.
Yep.
So that we have the 2 low. I mean, what are the odds in one cycle you'd get the 2 lowest?
So this truly is a biggest
Now,
loser contest.
Interestingly enough, The Governor Christie's approval ratings, the most recent one, is 23%, down from 27%, which is down from 60 and 70 when, they're winning the election. Look how good I am thing. So we have some polls to watch of our own before he leaves. 17 is the lowest. Brendan Byrne, when he said we're going to have a sales tax. 18 was the second worst. Governor Florio, when he said I'm going to increase the sales tax.
And he's at 23.
And had toilet paper. And then Governor Christie. So, he didn't even do anything with the sales tax. He didn't make us pay more money. He's going to say the opposite. And yet he can rival them. We can help make it happen.
Yeah.
But we got to keep in mind, too, and hard for me, and even harder for Lefty, I think, to keep in mind at times, we are the hurt party. When somebody walks up and there's nobody to protect her and a guy just pushes a woman and she falls on the ground, she's the hurt party and we all feel sad. She gets up with a crowbar and whacks him over the head. We're kind of happy, but we're not feeling sad for her anymore because she's not the real hurt party at this point. But this was the Gandhi principle when he realized that world television was new and that they could march right up to British soldiers, and the British soldiers would order them to disperse. They'd refuse and get the crap beat out of them. That's what put them on the map. They were the hurt party, just getting hurt. So we're already being offered this through these regulations, and when we fight back, it's you owed a lot more than just being heard. We want transparency. We want to know that we have a contact in the administration and a contact in the health department, not the one you get in the phone book. Somebody to contact who knows, and it is their job to talk with us. With Ken, maybe. He's the one that, we do like to be the spokesperson if they need one, because for much to what Leo was saying, Ken is the one that shows up in a sport jacket and tie and his Thurston Howell hat and everything, and he's looking good. You know what I mean?
It's true, but Thurston Howell the third.
No, Ken is the third. The guy on Gilligan's Island was the second.
I'm sorry, no, Ken would be the
fourth.
No, he'd be the fourth.
Yeah,
Yeah.
No.
Talking about Lovey.
No. But
No,
my
that was
point
good.
is,
I'm sorry.
well, that's
Stop
his fault for not
victimizing
coming
him.
here. He should have been here today, and we wouldn't have.
Oh my God! He said
He didn't
Thurston
show
Howell
up.
the
We're going
third.
to tee off, have some fun. No, but look at the pictures with the governor. He looked like at one point he was on the governor's staff. There's a picture where he was going to say he looked like one of his people.
Yes.
That's what we want. We want to look like them. That's what scares them more than.
Once again, so
Well,
if you see
wherever
us,
he is.
if you are someone who is running for public office here, we need to be the type of organization that we're one of the organizations you need to come talk to. That's who who is it? The Women's League or something like that.
Yeah.
Every gubernatorial candidate goes to talk to them.
Yeah.
CMMJ needs to be.
You know what the Women's
there.
League of Voters is also very good at, if there's something that's an issue, like for instance, if we get the medical marijuana law and what needs to be done and how it went wrong, if we make it become an issue, they will, besides having candidates, they'll have two people on opposite sides of an issue that's an issue with candidates in to a forum. The Women's League of Voters, they really are good at getting opposites together in the same room where you don't want to turn them down. And they could probably be a benefit. I think Ken did a talk before them at one point, and of course it's always well received. Yeah, we need to make sure our legislators are watching, and that's a job for constituents. So what the coalition needs to do is going to be make sure we have people within each constituency, all 40 districts, willing to write a letter as a constituent with a concern that it's copy and paste. If they want to add their own view, great, but copy and paste this request for the letter and that we want them watching. And we also need to find out, here's something interesting. I think that when we almost invalidated the rules through a process in the state constitution, when they were being made so badly in 2010, the legislature lost its spine. They had one more vote, and they were kicking butt, and then they would have yanked all the regulations away, square one, and they would be in charge, the legislature. So that may be, well, if, for instance, the regulations are like Lefty worries, going to be totally not within the spirit of the law as it was written and signed. That's the threshold for the invalidation process for the entire thing. There may well be a way to simply have the legislature say, no, if these are the rules that are promulgated by the health department because Chris Christie was intended it to be this way, we're going to yank the rulemaking decision
That would
away.
be great.
Well,
That'd be
we
great.
need to know, and we also need to get in touch with Reed Gusori, head of the Assembly Oversight
Right.
and Regulatory Committee, call a
Nick
special
Scutari.
session of that. If this happens, he should call a special session to take testimony so that we get our concerns heard
Correct.
through the Regulatory Committee.
Correct.
There's things. I got notes in my. I'm not going to get them out, but when I ride more than half an hour, my brain starts cooking when I'm by myself. I don't have the radio on. I've come up. There are a lot of initial things we need to find out about. We need to find out about what is a successful treatment for post-traumatic stress. Because if there was a successful treatment, wouldn't that be what everybody's doing? But there apparently isn't. You know, you would really probably be the one to present something in that area. When you're talking about successful post-traumatic stress treatment, if you have to fail something first, then that means contrary to failing it, there was a possibility of success and you didn't achieve it.
Here's what I hope to be, and it's not just for the state legislatures here, but like again locally. What I hope to be is an example of what it looks like when someone who is participating in the state's medicinal marijuana program, what it looks like when someone is living with PTSD and not suffering from PTSD. And it's funny, but you do have to change that whole way of thinking, because if you're suffering from PTSD, oh my God, we have to take this from you. We have to leave. You're going to start taking things from me because you think this is what's going to alleviate my suffering. And that's not what's happening here. I'm living with this. And I'm living with this because of you. Because you and your votes sent me to war. And so now I come home, and not only are you voting for all this stuff, but now you're going to make it even harder for me to even protect myself. And I'm a soldier. Okay. See the oxymoronic way of thinking?
And
it's
I do.
this, and it's
this is why I'm here. This is why I'm here,
And
because this is unfair. I have veterans who come to me that contact me because they can't get access, that they're being blocked.
And I can see the look of frustration on your face. And you know what's infuriating? What's infuriating for you is you're dealing with politicians who are not evolved enough in their way of thinking to understand where you're coming from. We're sitting here saying, look, 1 + 1 is 2. You see that, right?
I see
1
that.
+ 1 is 2. So why do you
are
keep
they
saying
telling me it's
3? Yeah. Why you keep saying it's 3? It's 2.
Right, right.
And then they go, because we do the old math, and then you do.
Yeah, they're on the core. They're on that core. I don't understand. That nobody understands.
Yeah. No wonder we got this core.
No wonder. It's the core problem.
It makes sense now.
We figured out the problem.
We're looking in the wrong direction. We shouldn't be looking at the children. We need to be looking at the adults. Are you still using your fingers to count? You're not supposed to use your fingers.
If you're drawing out bits and skinnies, you don't know math. You don't know math if you're drawing bits and skinnies. They're screwing with you.
Are you carrying the 1, or are you doing 4 rows of 4s? Like, what are you doing? What math did you learn?
5 times. Where in the history? This is why other countries laugh at us, because
this is the
here,
yes.
Yeah, I know.
5 times 4 = 20 is wrong. You know what I mean?
Lefty, Jim
That's
doing
wrong.
Common Core math.
No, I'm making notes. We're gonna make a phone call in a second here.
Yeah,
Who are we calling?
we're going to complete Roger's work, or we're going to start to complete Roger's work by making a phone call to Senator Nilsa Cruz.
And the reason we're gonna call
isn't
her.
she somebody that Tuffy's dad?
Yeah,
Yeah. Okay.
Well,
I'm gonna be quiet.
Lefty's gonna get the ball rolling.
Good afternoon from the district office.
Yes, hi. I'd like to speak to Senator Cruz, please. You're on the air with Sativa Cross Podcast.
You want to call the Camden office?
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah. I need a telephone number if you like.
1251, right? 541-1251.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, great. Thank you so much.
All right. No problem.
Let's try the Camden number. I was afraid to call Camden. I'm afraid to drive through Camden. I'm afraid to call Camden.
If you
Just afraid of
want to
Camden.
get her on, whoever's on the phone at some point, if you want to invoke the co-founder of the Coalition for Medical Marijuana and he wants to ask you a question or whatever. In other words, this is what we need. Companion bill for Assembly Lampett's A3852.
Companion bill for Assemblyman Lampett's Assemblywoman Lampett's A3852.
Right, the
Okay.
the Children's Caregivers Act.
All right. Your mic will be on, so
Yeah.
we're going to just do
Yeah, I
this.
just want to have to
I
deal with
gotcha.
one person at a time. And,
Okay.
and at some point, I'll know you're going to hand it off
All
a
right.
little bit.
Let's try this
You
again.
know, just say, just.
Let's give this a shot. Let's call Senator Nilsa Cruz.
Cruz Perez. You supposed to say
Nilsa
both?
Cruz Perez. Democrat from Camden.
Rick Rivera's senator.
She actually helped get Jenny's bill passed.
Yeah, that's why we're calling her.
Yeah, so we're hoping that she can help us again.
She was the.
You've reached the 5th Legislative District Office of Senator Nilsa Cruz Perez, Assemblywoman Patricia Egan Jones, and Assemblyman Arthur Buckley. We are unable to take your call at this time. Please leave a message by pressing 10, and someone will get back to you as soon as possible. Have a great. Your call is being transferred.
Oh, we're being transferred.
That could be you. Real person you recording me.
Who's recording who here? Oh boy, what we go through here.
Gonna get back to the first guy.
I think we're going backwards here. We're in a loop. We're in one of those loops you get. Uh-oh.
Leave a message after the tone.
Yes, hi. This is Lefty Grimes from the Sativa Cross CMMNJ.com podcast, .org podcast. We would have a question about Roger Barber. He had Jenny's bill passed with you. You had helped him. And it was passed within 7 days of getting to your desk. How can we get Laura less burden on her? She needs help.
She needs a companion bill.
Yes.
To Assemblywoman Pamela Lampett's A3852, which was posted June 2nd earlier this year. This means a school nurse could give medical marijuana to a child without the parent have to come down there. This is something that we know you would like to see happen, and I didn't know if you knew how important it was that it have a companion bill, even though the bill Lefty talked about was not read in Senate committee last time, and another bill, it was substituted for another bill. I know that this is going to take a committee assignment and get out before a full vote on the floor. Laura's having a lot of problem making it happen with the limited time she has since the death of her husband 3 weeks ago. The family is suffering for her having to go do this every lunch. You could get in touch with me, Jim Miller, co-founder of Coalition for Medical Marijuana New Jersey, at 908-278-4172. Sorry for the long message. Actually, I'm not. It's that difficult of a thing to do. It's going to take some time to understand.
Yeah, we need help.
Laura needs help, and we need a companion bill, and this is what you do. So please consider it. Otherwise, say why not, because we'll need to know. We need to make this happen. I promised Laura at the funeral we would make it happen.
Length recorded. Message saved. Goodbye.
What if we're not done? We're not. Goodbye. We're still here.
Well,
No, it's all right. That's good. That guy is rambling as it is, you know.
You got your point across on it.
Yeah, but it's something that can be followed up on. And actually, we need to get in touch with Rick.
Just in case I get a human, you never know. Just in case. I'm not going to leave a message. Just give me a second.
Get all the time you want, man. It's fun.
There's a method to my madness here. It is lunchtime.
Well, that would mean it's not madness, really, if there's a method to it.
All right. It is lunchtime. Let's wait 15 minutes and call back. How about that?
Yeah, let's do that.
Yeah.
Probably down in the cafeteria. We'd go down and search. Take pictures down and search on lunch.
Laura needs help because did you see the story about Laura the other day? Laura had a very rough day, and her and Marley ate dinner and took a nap on the couch.
Marley, her 13-year-old daughter.
Yes, Marley's, yes.
Jenny's sister.
When they woke up, Jenny was gone. The sliding door was open. Jenny was not to be found. Went through the whole house. Jenny was gone.
They had to be frantic.
So this is their new reality. As a single mom, this is what Laura has to deal with now.
Well, they found her.
Yeah, they did find her. This time they found her. The police found her down at the sub shop.
But Jenny's uncommunicative, so she would have just have wandered into a sub shop and been smiling and looking, and if somebody asked her something, she likely wouldn't even respond.
No.
But this is because Laura was tired, and she's tired because she has too much to do, and part of that, the time it takes for her to have to go give her daughter a sip of liquid because the school nurse isn't allowed to, is why we need a companion built to 3852. Karen's in the house.
But yeah, I mean, Laura needs this help. She can't do this all by herself. I mean, Senator Cruz helped her in the past, and we're going to call on Senator Cruz to do it again.
And if not Senator Cruz, somebody else. But like I alluded to with Senator Cruz on the message, is that we're going to need to know why if there's no help forthcoming. And if it's going to be delayed, we're going to need to know why, because we promised to make it happen by any and all means necessary.
Yeah.
And part of that means that we'll hold everybody's feet to the fire, friends and foe alike.
Me too?
I can't imagine that, you know.
You kind of do anyway.
No, I mean, it sounds like fun, but
Why does that sound like fun to you?
You know,
hey,
just,
no,
you know,
I don't like this.
You know.
Call
Call him a wussy now and see what happens, you know. Feet to the fire. No, we're an equal opportunity basher. If our friends do not help when they need to, they're not really our friends. And if they explain why, well, the reason I'm not going to be able to is line it up. And even if I don't understand it, I'll appreciate the attempt to say why not. But we will not allow friends to not help and walk away without being asked why. And, we'll disagree.
Jekka, is your confusion over about this issue, or do you still have confusion about this issue?
I'd settle for is it lightened up
I think I'm always
going to
have
It's a mess.
confusion.
It's a mess.
How could we not?
It's just, yeah.
I just don't think when everything is so obvious now, when all the information is at the touch of a finger, when the National Institute of Health is saying that it's not a gateway drug, I just don't understand how you can just use that excuse and say, oh, it's the gateway. I believe in the gateway theory. Well, it's like, okay, well, believe the world that the is flat, and we'll see how that goes.
The world is flat.
Okay. I have confusion
We've become
with that.
very forgiving of people who do not tell the truth or operate using the truth as a guide, and I'm watching a presidential race unfold that really confirms my theory that we've become so desensitized to people being able to willy-nilly lie about things, even things that it's not that important. The cones, the governor said I didn't know about the traffic jam while it was happening.
Liar.
And it's turning out that according to
sure
the prosecutor, right? But
he's a bridge blocker.
Thing it is
and a pop
he
blocker.
lived in the environment you're talking about where you get to just lie and there's no repercussions. This is sweet because there is a repercussion to something, because the next question, he had to lie. The next question would be, well, why didn't you immediately stop it? That's the problem.
Why is he not a terrorist? If a bunch of Al Qaeda people blocked the bridge with cones, they'd be terrorists. So why isn't Governor
Because
Christie a terrorist?
He's they're above the law. They are above the law.
They're a lot skinnier anyway. Terrorists.
Well, you know, there's some people in federal court in Newark today that would probably disagree. The prosecutors in that case.
They're in favor.
Yeah.
How's that?
Well, who?
They're in favor.
What
the
they?
people that are allowed to lie, they're in favor. So
Well,
someone
Bill
is
Baroni's
protecting them.
Bill Baroni is in federal court for lying. The governor's really falling out of favor for lying.
Liar.
They did operate under the premise that this would be okay to do, and you are right. Generally, it is, but much as I have a problem with dividing lines, it's the all or nothing that I generally have a problem with, because it's way towards one or the other. And they do get away with it for a while, and all they got to do, it's like the Alec Baldwin character on Saturday Night Live, where I think it was Gilda Radner playing his girlfriend or somebody, and she'd say, "Why were you out at the movies last night? You said you were sick." "I know, that's what I'm trying to tell you. I was sick and they had air conditioning and it's better for my sinuses. But you were with Katie sitting next to her." That's what I'm trying to tell you. I went, and no matter what she says, he'd come back with something. And it was a joke on Saturday Night Live, but it goes on for real in Trenton. It does. I mean,
But it goes on for real in real life all the time.
It does.
We justify
So it's the
instead of
playing
accepting
field.
responsibility.
In Delaware, they do it all the time.
Yes,
But-
they do.
So basically, though, is what we're doing is identifying the playing field, and it isn't fair. But we got to be able to cut that off at some time once we recognize it, to say, is there anywhere on the playing field that is more fair for us to play?
Yeah, right here.
Can we
Right
direct?
here.
This is what we're doing here, because we get to play unfair. We get to say whatever we want here too. Problem is we tell the truth. But if we didn't, we could be putting up any signs we wanted, and they'd be going, "Well, that's not fair." Boy, that's kind of like a goal, to make somebody say that's not fair, and say, "Would you put that in writing and take a picture of me and I take a selfie?" Because it's not fair. I told a congressman one time, congressman's chief of staff, and I was with Cheryl, that he'd better be careful dealing with us, and telling the truth, because I have an advantage he doesn't. That if I said to him, if I say you said one thing, and you said, "No, I didn't, I never said that," who are people going to believe? Some guy that's trying to take care of his dying wife and came to Washington for answers? Or the politician's chief of staff? They'll believe whatever I say, and I will lie to get what she needs. So deal with me straight. And I think he actually was a little scared. It's sort of like the woman walking up to you and says, "If I cry rape, you're going to jail. You know that, right?" Whoa! There is a power there. And, maybe they should think we do that too.
You played the psycho card.
Yeah.
I don't know. The psycho card's not working out for me, man.
Yeah, what happened to you? Oh my God. Yeah, you played the psycho card at the dispensary and got kicked out.
I did.
But they should understand that.
Yeah.
They should have patients that are very upset sometimes, and that have maybe some PTSD issues that may have to blow up and just let it out.
You would think
You would
that
think. Healthcare professionals.
that in a medical facility, if you want to say you're a medical marijuana facility, you would think that they might be trained in like sensitivity, patient sensitivity, because there are people who have mental issues. I do have a mental diagnosis.
PTSD, right?
I do have PTSD.
Right.
I
So-
have an actual diagnosis of manic depression with fits of psychotic rage. That's actually.
Can you own a gun?
I don't know. I don't
We
know.
were,
Let's
we
apply.
were talking
Yeah.
about that earlier.
Well,
where the
I
thresholds
apparently maybe not if I'm a medical marijuana patient.
Yeah, let's try to get a gun for you. Let's see how that works.
Well, I'm just saying that if you were a patient, becoming a medical marijuana patient should make it easier to get a permit rather than harder, because it's helpful for people to say, well, now that you're using medical marijuana, you can't have a gun, is as if they're saying because cannabis could exacerbate the problem to the point you'd do something wrong. and there's no real basis in truth on that. My comparison was, what about somebody who likes to drink vodka? That's the person we don't want.
I got an idea. Oh, I'm sorry. I got an idea of an office to call.
Okay.
The Trenton chapter of the NRA.
What's top on my
The
notes?
New Jersey chapter.
What's top on my
NRA help. Yep, yeah.
I'm just saying, I make
or
notes
New
when I'm-
Jersey chapter of the NRA.
You think they'll talk online on
Hey, you know what? Let's find out.
Well, you know,
And you always
make
play
sure
the civil
make sure they
rights.
know.
Yeah.
Don't say this is what's planned. Say this is what's we think is coming.
What's in
yeah,
discussion.
make sure they understand that you're not saying this is a rule that's
No,
being.
this is what's going to happen. Governor Christie's going to take your guns away if you get. Yeah, no, this is what's going to happen. I'm
well,
telling
yeah,
you.
they're going to be right with you on that anyway.
I mean, I'm standing by my prediction.
Are you an
I said
NRA
it last
member?
week.
Is anybody
You
here an
you heard
NRA
it.
member?
You heard it here.
That's
Right.
Yeah,
Do we know one?
Let's see what happens.
Are you an NRA member?
Negative.
How come?
Never been here long enough to do it.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay.
do we know anybody we could say it is? Hi, I'm
Hey,
Bruce Moskowitz. We'll make up a name. Look up. They must have a roll of members.
Charlton
You know?
Heston's
Look it
son.
up and pick one out. You know.
My dad was Charlton Heston. I love guns.
I really like.
as a
them,
matter of fact,
those old
I got a
movies.
person we can call right now. We can call
Okay.
my Uncle Mike.
Dial his number.
Yeah, you can.
And
get
you say
Uncle Mike
hello.
on. Make sure you tell him he's on the air on the podcast.
Don't you
No,
gotta
no,
dial
no.
an area code?
Wait, make sure you tell
Oh,
him.
you got a
tell
dollar
him
area code? Sorry.
Yeah,
I'm
do that
sorry.
again.
Thank you.
Do that all over
See,
again.
see.
Yeah,
yeah,
since like
It's
1970.
PTSD. It's okay.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
okay. It's all right. You're good. You're good.
Can I hit
Yeah.
send? Can I hit send?
Yes. Send it. We're going to call Uncle Mike. Here, let me see that. Let me see that.
Yeah, but Leo, you say hi, but make sure he knows he's on air on the podcast.
Yes.
Okay.
I'll tell him.
Hello?
Hey, Aunt Ruby, it's Marcel.
You're on the air.
Oh, hey, Mr. Marcel. How you doing today?
I'm good. Guess what, Aunt Ruby?
What?
You are live on the air for our podcast.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah. Like your voice is being broadcasted all over West State Street and all on the internet. And that cute little laugh of yours is just everyone's getting to enjoy what I get every day. Now,
Aren't you thoughtful?
oh, thank you, Aunt Ruby. Is Uncle Mike around?
He had a bad morning, so he went back upstairs.
Okay. All right. Well,
No, he was down here, but he went on back.
okay, because we wanted to try to get a couple of comments from him, but we can try him again next week.
Okay,
All right.
that'd be great. I'll tell him.
All right.
Look forward to it.
All right. Well, I love you, Aunt Ruby.
Love you, and you enjoy your podcast.
Will do. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
I was going to say you should ask her a question.
We can. She.
Well,
Go ahead. Go ahead. Hit it again.
No.
Seriously. No, she's cool. She's good. She'll
What were you going to ask?
Who's a bigger douche?
Oh, come on.
Call her back and say, did somebody that sounded like me just say he was me and get you on the phone?
You know what? You need to call for that one. You need to
Oh,
call
no,
my.
did you talk to him?
If you want a real honest answer, call my mother-in-law.
Really?
Yeah. She'll run it down. No, I'm not calling. Are you
kidding.
kidding?
I'm
me?
kidding.
Yeah.
But it's interesting.
Way to call my bluff, though.
Yeah. You say, you know who we should call? He's already getting his
Yeah, he's
phone
already
out.
got the phone out. Let's
I
call
don't
him.
care who it is.
Yeah, let's call him right now.
Let's just call a number we don't know who it is.
Random.
In New Jersey.
All right.
Well,
I'm
anyway,
gonna
the
roll.
NRA would be the people to get in touch with. That would be a really amazing thing. The reason I don't think it's going to happen is because if somebody said, well, we're not going to let people with post-traumatic stress who are medical marijuana patients have guns in the house. If that was going to be a rule, the NRA would step in right off. Now, the NRA stepping in saying something about Christie's promulgation of rules that are over and out of bounds, it affects Donald Trump's campaign. Mm-hmm. This is where Christie's got a leash. Mm-hmm. And I think it's funny because it's the understood leash that he's operated on here the whole time. It's the understood leash that got Bridgegate
But Jim,
going.
So let's call him.
Let me ask you a question. Do you want someone
Call
who's
Donald Trump.
suicidal? You want someone who's suicidal owning a gun?
Well, Yeah, they need options, I guess.
Damn.
I mean, are we gonna? What else are
No.
we gonna take? Well, you can commit suicide in any number of ways.
Take the rope away.
That's my point.
I
Being
know, right.
facetious and sarcastic.
Exactly.
I don't mean any disrespect. That's what that says.
It says that to me too.
It says that
knives, take the knives away. Forks,
that
take their forks away.
if we do this, there's no way anybody's going to figure out how to vent carbon monoxide back into a car with
Take
closed
their
windows.
stoves away.
Yeah,
No
right.
more stoves for you.
Right.
You have PTSD. No more stoves.
Look, it's alcohol that scares me. If somebody has a gun and they're drunk, I do not want to be within whatever the firing range is. You know, who fires guns straight up in the air thinking bullets don't come down? Drunk people. Well, I get to do this. yeah.
I've seen it on the internet.
I've seen it in real life.
I saw a commercial where
These bullets come
shooting
down.
up in the air, and then someone said, "The bullets," and then they ran, and you just started.
You see it
raining
on TV all the
bullets.
time. It's always in the, on everything on TV.
But it's
Oh,
drinking
shoot
and that,
here.
and there's no legislation going to cover that. Is that going to be on a gun registration form? Do you ever have more than 3 mixed drinks or beers at one time? Otherwise, but so to take away something like cannabis, which people are generally aware of, makes you less confrontational in most cases, as opposed to alcohol making you more confrontational. I think it's sort of like, you don't want to say let people have it in an equal up case, but I think people deserve a chance to show they can be responsible. But there's a lot of things between killing somebody and not using a gun. There's brandishing a gun. There's taking it out in a threatening manner in a drunken situation. In cases like that, if it goes on record, shouldn't have a gun. It can be just, people are just Dick Codys, they but it shouldn't.
Who?
It shouldn't be
Who?
Dick Cody.
Senator Dick?
Cody. Yeah.
You're talking about Senator Dick from
Cody,
Livingston.
Yeah.
Livingston Dick.
Cody.
Okay.
How quick can I say that? So
Well, let's call Senator Perez. We like Senator Perez, actually. I like her. Let's call her. It's 1 o'clock. Let's try her number again.
And I found the NRA phone number too.
where's the cheat sheet? What did I do with it?
We need to call the Camden number.
Should we call Karen?
Let's try it again.
Where's the
Cheat sheet.
Yes.
Yes. Good afternoon. You're on the air. This is the Sativa Cross podcast. I'd like to speak to Senator Cruz, please. Is she in the office today?
She's not. May I take a message?
Yeah, we are following up on Roger Barber's work. Roger Barber recently passed away. He was the father who got the bill signed for Jenny to get cannabis in the school for her, and we're looking.
What was the name?
Roger Barber, and the girl's name was Jenny Barber from Lark School, and they got the bill passed. Senator Cruz helped them pass the bill in a week's time for medical cannabis in the schools. Now the problem is Laura has to give the medicine to Jenny every day, or else she doesn't get her medicine. She has to take her out of school to give her the medicine.
A nurse is not allowed
Right.
to give her medicine.
So Roger wanted to have the nurse give the medicine to Jenny, just like the nurse gives OxyContin and needles to children. And the companion bill is 3852 in the Assembly.
It needs a companion.
It needs one.
Assemblywoman Pamela Lampa introduced a 3852 June 2nd, which is the Children's Caregivers Act that would allow a third-party caregiver other than the parent or legal guardian, which is the way the law stands now, so that even though Roger was successful in getting a bill to the governor's desk that got signed that made New Jersey the first state to allow cannabis on school grounds, while we applaud that, the Senator Cruz Perez was instrumental in making sure the Senate bill sailed and was the first name under Nick Scutari's. So what's needed now is for a 3852 to have a companion bill, identical companion bill in the Senate, because right now Laura not only is trying to care for everybody without her husband who passed away, untimely as can be, but yeah, she knows that the bill to get this allowed on school grounds took 7 days to get to the governor's desk. She feels abandoned that this has been sitting there since June 2nd without attention, and now that Rogers died, she has the choice between giving her daughter medicine and losing time off of work. She's so tired that she can't stay awake at times, and that's not good for parenting. So we'd like to know if the senator would at least confer with Senator Scutari about getting this taken care of immediately. I told Laura at the funeral that the Coalition for Medical Marijuana, which I'm a co-founder of, would make this happen using any and all means necessary. So we're counting on our allies at first to step up and I do what I know is going to be recognized as something that needs to be done. I know, long message. I'll bet you can shorten that up a bit, though.
Yeah, I'm trying to. Can I have your name again? I'm sorry.
Well, my name is Jim Miller. I'm Jim Miller, J-I-M. I'm a co-founder of the Coalition for Medical Marijuana New Jersey, who sponsors the Sativa Cross podcast. Lefty Grimes, that's his endeavor. And we team up every Thursday in front of the Statehouse, where we are right now, having our 58th Thursday podcast. We do this every Thursday between April and Thanksgiving last year and this year. So also, we'd also like to know if there was a time that the senator could be a call-in guest to the podcast.
Yeah, we'd love to speak to her. We're a big fan of hers, actually.
All right, can I have a phone number that you can be reached at?
908-616-0682.
Okay. All right, and you wanted to know if the senator would confer with the other legislators working on that?
Yeah, well, right now we don't know if anybody's working on it in the Senate, so we'd like to find out if there is, then would she help, and if there isn't, would she lead?
And what was the name of the, do you have the
yeah, that's
number?
838-52.
838-52?
Yeah, there's another bill that's more sweeping that Assemblyman Greenwald has, but this is only to do with the Children's Caregivers Act. In other words, it doesn't include other things. This is strictly to allow the school nurse to give medical cannabis, which is in a liquid form mostly, to a student the same way she gives other drugs to other students, especially in special education school. And they're ready to make provisions to do that if there's a law passed that allows them to do it.
All right.
And to basically confer with Assemblywoman Lampett. I don't know how that works. I mean, I might be making it sound easier than it is, but I'm sure she'd be glad to tell you about the merits of the bill and what brought it on.
All right. Well, I will give the message to her as soon as possible. I have the name was your name is Jim Miller, correct?
Yes.
And the phone number was 908-616-0682.
That's Lefty Grimes' phone number.
Yeah, that's my number.
If because he's the one making the call, and if you wanted to add a phone number as another 908 number, that would be my number.
Sure.
And I am, as I said, the co-founder of the Coalition for Medical Marijuana in New Jersey, a non-profit 501c3, good standing in New Jersey for 13 years. I'm sorry, I just got to say that every time. Yeah, my number is 908-278.
278?
Yes, 4172. And I'm the one that promised Laura Barber that we would get this done, so I appreciate anything that you can do.
Sure, not a problem. I'll make sure the message is along as soon as possible.
And what's your name, sir?
My name is Justin.
Justin, you've been very helpful.
Thank you, Justin. Thank you very
Justin.
much.
Thank you.
All right, bye-bye.
Well, all right. Justin.
How do you like my 501c3? I really like to do the Don Pardo thing.
I forgot to sativacross.com. I forgot all about my...
Come on down, Justin. You're eligible to talk with somebody from the Coalition for Medical Marijuana in Jersey, a 501c3 nonprofit charitable organization good in the state of New Jersey for the last 13 years.
You want the number?
Do you want door number 1 or door number 2? You better say 1.
Is this the main number for the NRA?
Yeah. It's 800
Right.
672
672
3888.
3888. All right, Leo, we're going to do all the talking here.
Okay.
We're going to find out why Christie is going to take the
Thank you
gun.
for calling the National Rifle Association membership line. This menu has 6 options for you to consider. Please listen very carefully and select the appropriate option that best fits your needs.
Okay.
If you're calling to join the NRA, renew your NRA membership, give a gift membership, make a contribution, change your address, have questions regarding your current NRA membership,
No.
you haven't received your membership packet,
No.
or if you need assistance with your username and password
Yes.
for your NRA online member services account,
No.
please press 1 now.
No. Yeah? No.
If you're currently an NRA member, you need to make a payment on your Easy Pay Life membership,
No.
set up or make changes to automatic payments on your Easy Pay Life membership, change your magazine subscription, add an additional magazine subscription, you're receiving duplicate magazines, have a question about your membership statement, or you did not receive a free gift that was part of the membership deal, please press 2 now.
No, none of that. Come on.
For any questions related to NRA board member election or any other NRA membership-related questions, please press 3 now. If you'd like information about specific NRA programs, please press 4 now. For legislative and or state and local questions, or to be connected to the Institute for Legislative Action, please press 5 now.
5.
There's our number 5.
Yeah. You're talking, right?
Thank you for calling the NRA ILA.
Yes, hello.
Please enter your number
Hello?
or stay on the line for the
Oh, God.
Okay.
Really? I don't like this already.
All of our operators are busy assisting other members. Your call is very important to us. Please remain on the mobile operator.
Well, this call is important, so you might.
All right. Give us some music while we wait. Dun, 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 dun. Dun dun
Magic
dun dun
butter
dun
is
dun
made
dun
for
dun dun
you.
dun 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 dun. Yes, hello. Hi, you're on the air with Sativa Cross Podcast.
Purchase our free NRA ILA frontline volunteer.
What?
NRA ILA frontline.
Don't these guys have a lot of money? Can't they get better phones? Really? I thought they were like a $1 billion company.
Well,
Frontline members with NRA ILA, and especially with their NRA ILA election volunteer coordinator.
I don't think I'd ever join a group that I couldn't understand them.
Legislative and political agenda. Your EVC is a local NRA member who has volunteered to act as liaison between NRA members and gun owners in various pro-gun campaigns.
I think this is the instead of music, this is what we get.
No, this is a live call. This is a live guy.
No, he's not
This is
live.
how boring they are.
Only those pro-freedom activists who pledge their regular assistance when called to action on parole. The best thing about NRA Frontline is that every
I like the music better.
Yeah, I do too. Dun 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 dun.
Join NRA
Dun 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 dun.
Please register online.
Whoa, it's trippy, man.
Wow.
Take action.
Is this really the NRA? Wow, the NRA is really trippy, man.
Yeah.
We appreciate it.
Smoke some weed and shoot some deers, man. What's that?
Oh,
Music?
yeah. And I think it's 80s stuff too.
Oh, it's music. What song is this?
Sounds like the soundtrack to Miami Vice.
We're gonna call the NRA.
Sing it, Lefty.
Governor Christie's taking our guns away.
Taken away.
'Cause I like to smoke weed. And guns are what I need.
And they can't state the
You can help
PTSD.
candidate
Oh,
by contacting the election volunteer coordinator.
Oh God, this is horrible.
oh, come on,
Really?
man. So like,
Really?
like, is this the break and then you rap over it?
This is the worst.
Various
Oh my God. This is. I can't do this. I can't do this, Leo.
Okay, let's.
I mean,
hold on, let me
I
look
love
up.
bad radio and bad phone calls, but this is just.
Yeah, this is terrible.
Voter registration.
I mean,
Even if you can spare only an hour a week or a couple of days between now and election day, your EDC needs
just let me leave you a message, dude. I will leave you the longest. Oh God,
hours of your time. What is?
this guy annoys me. I want to stay on the line just to yell at them.
This is it. Is 672-3888.
I can help you.
Yes, hi. This is Lefty Grimes. You're on the air with Sativa Cross. We have a question for you, sir. The medical cannabis bill in New Jersey recently passed by Governor Christie, allowing PTSD for cannabis patients. From what we understand, that they want to take the guns away from patients who apply for this. Have you guys heard anything about that? And can Governor Christie take the guns away?
So, yes, well, let me just explain that. That's not, technically it's not a Second Amendment issue. What it is a federal classification of drugs issue. The federal law states that marijuana is a prohibited substance. Now, some states have passed laws in favor of medicinal or therapeutic or even recreational marijuana. If you take whatever the reason why, whether you're legally prescribed it or illegally using it, depending on what state you're in, it's still federally recognized as an illegal substance. So, for instance, if you were to go, even though you are legally prescribed marijuana, let's say, in a state that allows for medicinal, that's only in that state. When you go to buy a gun, for instance, that federal form you fill out asks whether or not you do, in fact, use marijuana. If you do, you are, what's what I'm looking for, invalid as far as from purchasing a gun. And then, or if you lie, you're committing a felony.
So
it is a bit of a.
I'm sorry. So if I'm like right here, we're calling from the state of New Jersey, and so here in the state of New Jersey, I am a card-carrying medicinal marijuana patient, and so if I was a new patient who suffered like most of our veterans, who suffer from PTSD, in order for me to become a part of the state's program, I have to. I'm not saying it's law right now, but what they're planning on doing is they're making it so that if I have PTSD, if I suffer from PTSD and I want to get into this program, I have to give up my firearm. That's being
a user of marijuana makes you a prohibited person.
So the use of
that's federal law.
Okay, so the use
so what needs to be done to correct that is essentially somebody needs to work towards getting that marijuana law overturned. So it is not so much a Second Amendment thing. It is by default, but it's not saying that if you have PTSD you can't own a gun. No, not at all. What it's saying that is if you use marijuana, you can't own a gun.
No.
That is federal law, has been for some time.
Well, but the way it's being presented here is that if I am a member of the NRA and I have a firearm in my home, and then I go to legally become a part of the state's program, I have to give up that firearm before I can get into the state program.
Yes.
Yeah,
so it's not.
New Jersey has some of the absolute worst gun laws in the entire country.
Preach, brother, preach.
So that sounds about right.
Right. So, so what would the NRA stance be in regards to what the state is proposing? Like, so those of us who are
much like.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
It's up to you whether or not you want to involve yourself in that program. That's kind of our stance on it. We don't think anybody should have to give up their firearms, but substances and firearms don't mix. So even if, let's say, if you didn't need to do it for an emotional thing like PTSD, what you would need to, but let's just say you were taking pain medication that's legally prescribed to you, pain medication for, let's say, a pre-existing condition, okay? Just hypothetically.
Yeah.
Although, because you are taking a legally prescribed substance on both the federal and state level, we feel, and it's illegal though while you're under the influence of that substance to use a firearm. And we, just like it's illegal to consume alcohol on a federal and state level, it is illegal to use a firearm while under the influence of alcohol.
Yes, but I don't have to give up my firearm to go get the alcohol. See, that's what in order for me,
Here's the thing. I mean, here again, I cannot stress this enough. This is not so much a Second Amendment issue as it is a federal classification of a drug issue.
Mm-hmm. So as long as it's as long as it's a Schedule 1 drug federally right now, if the state of New Jersey decides that in order for me to have medicinal marijuana, I have to give up my firearm, then at that point, because it's a Schedule 1 drug, that's fine. As it stands.
I mean, again, I wouldn't. Okay, so let me put it this way. I'm not entirely familiar with New Jersey's law.
Right.
But other states like Florida, for instance, they're voting on that. Colorado, if you remember of their medicinal marijuana program, you do not have to surrender your firearm under Colorado state law. Under federal law, you are a prohibited person, but Colorado state does not require that. Of course, New Jersey has registration of firearms. They have some of the worst guns. Basically, gun laws in New Jersey are terrible to begin with, let alone if you introduced some sort of preemption with a federally prohibited substance.
Right. Okay.
So I mean that.
So they just made it more work. They made it worse.
You're in violation of federal law. You're in compliance with state law, but that state law is in violation of federal law.
Right.
So under federal law, you are a prohibited person from owning a firearm.
Can the NRA help to overturn this for us? Can they help us with this?
I mean, that's not. I mean, to be honest with you, that's not a Second Amendment law. That is a law regarding marijuana consumption, and that's in general not something we would necessarily get into.
Right.
Because again, I mean, we essentially all of a sudden a gun lobby would be lobbying for reclassification of what is now listed as a Schedule 1 substance, and that's just not what we do.
Okay. Well, I thank you for answering our questions, and you've been a really great help. We appreciate you.
But do you think it's okay for
You have a wonderful day.
Yeah, but let me ask you a question. Do you think it's okay for them to take our guns away just for using cannabis here in New Jersey as patients? Do you think that's okay?
No, I really can't give my opinion on that. I don't believe that anybody should have their firearms taken away as long as they're law-abiding citizens.
Right.
I can say that.
Right.
But that's really all. I mean, I really can't give you my opinion on medicinal, recreational, or otherwise with regards to marijuana.
I think this is something you guys should get behind because we can help each other in this cause, and I think you should help us in this cause because there's a lot of patients in New Jersey that want their guns and they don't want to give up their guns. It's either cannabis or guns, and it's like that's a horrible choice for some people, but you're going to make criminals.
I mean, well, here's the thing. That is a choice that you can make. So you essentially, by making that choice to use that substance, so obviously there's the debate of what's better for you and what's worse for you, prescription medicine or marijuana. I'm not going to get into that debate, but the fact of the matter is you do have a choice for medical purposes. You can choose to use a federally prohibited substance and therefore surrender your rights to own a firearm, or you could continue using whatever otherwise legally prescribed medication is and continue to own your firearm. There is a choice there. It's not like it's not because you have PTSD, you're being forced to give up your firearms. You have the choice of what direction you want to go for treatment.
I get what you're saying. This is all by the book. Okay. Well, thank you again, man. We really appreciate
What's your name?
My name's Paul.
Paul.
Okay, Paul. Take care and have a good rest of the day.
Thank you so much, Paul.
You too.
All right.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
All right, Paul from the NRA. That was very interesting.
That was interesting.
Wow.
That was that. It's not a Second Amendment issue.
There you go.
This is so as it stands right now, the NRA is not.
No help from the NRA. No help from the government, and the government's going to take your guns away.
Yeah.
There you go. There you go. You heard it first here on the podcast.
Yeah,
you heard it first.
That's interesting.
They're going to take your guns away if you sign up for PTSD treatment.
Because as far as the NRA is concerned, and he did say, New Jersey has some of the craziest, gun laws, in the country, and then when you look at the way these laws are written and executed, and then you look at the way this whole PTSD bill and medicinal marijuana. Listen. All this does to me is it spells out to me how big of a cleanup job we got to do when he's gone. This is going to be a huge cleanup job.
Man.
So though we have 15 minutes, even though we only have 15 months of the Christie administration, who knows how long it's going to take after he's gone for us to clean this whole thing up. And at this point, to me, I say we have 15 months to figure out who we need to get in, who we need to align ourselves with, so that when the when the transition happens, this
All
cleanup,
of them.
yeah,
All
all
of
of it. Yeah. Yes. See, now you're thinking like a military man. Oh, really? None of y'all want to do this? Okay.
Now
all y'all
now you're
go.
all-
I swear, all y'all got to go. Every single one of y'all got to go.
Take no prisoners,
no need
man.
to have a conversation. Do listen.
No quarter, man.
Listen, when General Shinseki became Secretary of the VA, they this is what he did. His first 6 months, he because mind you, he was a general and then now he's Secretary of the VA, and he's also a Vietnam veteran. So his first 6 months, he got everybody who was deemed a roadblock or a reason not doing their job good enough. He got them all in a room and said, "Thank you for your service. Goodbye."
Oh, wow.
And they all like he did it in one fellow swoop.
What was his
bye-bye.
name? What's his name?
General Ken Shinseki.
Shinseki.
Yes,
We like Shinseki.
Yeah, like
All right.
the last State of the Union address that President Obama did. General Shinseki was the guy who didn't attend, so that if anything happened to the government as a whole, he was the guy that would become president.
All right.
But he was the that's the way it. Ooh, what time is it? I got class.
Oh, man.
All right, hey fellas, I got class. I'm late. Thanks to you.
That was a good phone call.
Yeah, it was a very informative phone call. Look,
It was.
we'll finish this
We
up
learned.
next week. Yeah, I'm gonna
We
get.
learned,
I'm gonna
yeah.
get. I'm gonna
See,
get.
I wasn't
reamed
lying
for
about
this.
the guns, Jim. I'm telling you.
No. But again,
But
we're
it's-
just all we're
it's-
we're
it's
understanding the grand
federal,
scope
you're
of our
right.
work. This
Christy don't have to
highlights.
put it in.
This tells us exactly. This help to me. This is informative. This is what you call good
podcast.
intel. Yeah, this is good intel.
Intel.
Because I'm learning like how big or how grand a scope of a job that we're going to have ahead of us for the next 15 months.
You know what I like? I like that he suggested it, and I said, "Hey, me too. I had the same idea. Top's on my list." So great minds think alike at times, no doubt about it.
You know what I'm saying? All right, look to the rest of the podcast viewers. We'll see. I'll talk to you guys next week. I got to get to class because I'm late, and I'll probably have some more information in regards to, seeing how much more work we got to do.
Oh yeah.
But there's a lot of work,
There is.
and particularly for me on the local level. And the NRA, that phone call right there was enlightening, Lefty.
It was.
Ooh, I can
It
see
was good
I can see your wheels spinning.
Good idea. Great
I
execution.
don't think you was prepared for
No,
those answers.
no,
Because I know I wasn't. I thought they would be like, "What? What do you mean they gonna take? That ain't. No, that's not what he told us."
But he did shift the focus to the federal law,
Yes.
so that
Right.
Yes.
he's
yes.
made it clear
Yes.
that this is something, no doubt, that our governor can get behind the federal law and say, "Oh, I'm sorry, federal law. This is the way it's going to go."
Yeah. So we got some work to do. Maybe we need to start contacting our Colorado, our Colorado.
How do other states get by this? I mean,
They passed a law. Colorado passed their own law that somehow overrode the federal
Who
law.
did? Is that what the?
That's what he
NRA?
said. That's what he said.
Yeah, that's what he said. Yeah, he said they were on
Schooled by the NRA on medical marijuana.
Yeah, and it's not like he was saying it in a way where he agrees with what
Right.
we're dealing with. He just pointed out, the flaws in our argument.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like
With ease, he pointed it
like
out.
this is the way you need to think. Because, we can.
I had the feeling he had his feet up on a table or something. He was watching TV while he was
No,
talking.
because as soon as we said New Jersey, he perked up.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
did.
He was like,
That-
what?
he turned the TV
yeah,
off
He,
then.
yeah, he was like, you know what? New Jersey got some of the craziest laws.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not speaking for the NRA, but their laws are crazy.
Yeah, right, 'cause I'm on a podcast.
Yeah. But in New Jersey, I don't know what they're thinking in New Jersey. Yeah, you know what? Neither do we, and we in New Jersey. We've been trying to. That's what we fighting for.
Yeah.
We're trying to get these oxymoronic politicians out of here.
We're
we
so
can
under
get
the
some
gun,
real-
we're getting advice from you. And,
Yeah,
and it's good advice.
Yeah.
It's the best advice we've had all week.
from the NRA.
Yeah, really.
Like wow.
love it.
Yeah.
Oh, it's
like,
great.
but this is the type of stuff
Strange
that
bedfellows.
makes us punchlines and jokes.
Yeah.
This is how we become punchlines. This is what makes us funny. This is to other people.
What do you mean?
This type of this thinking. The whole way our laws are written and everything.
Because we are a bit of a punchline. We didn't know what the NRA knew, so I'm thinking like.
No.
I mean that but that's a punchline I enjoy. Yeah, because it proves
I
will
knew it?
learn from anybody that can lead me to the promised land. I will learn from anybody.
But I saw the look on Lefty's face. I said, uh-oh. Lefty's wheels are spinning. Yeah, me and Jim gonna have to temper them.
Under the table went like this.
Yeah. Lefty was like, and I'm like, holy crap, did you hear that? All right, guys, look, I love you guys, and I'll see you guys next week.
Yeah, man, you got to go to class.
Yeah. Get some class, Leo.
Leo Bridgewater, everybody. Leo Bridgewater. The voice of pragmatism when it comes to our table.
Leo's the best. Thank you, Leo.
Yeah, really. Well, we'll learn from Leo, too. I mean,
man.
It's like we are a learning bunch. Just shows we didn't know as much as we thought we did.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't think we knew that much, so. There's just too much to take care of. What's going on, Michael Brennan? Michael Brennan in the house.
So I will be appearing with Weedman at the Damn Sam New York Harvest Festival promo party. Friday, tomorrow night, 9 o'clock till 12 a.m. at Funkadelic Studios, 209 West 40th Street in New York, New York. Tickets are $10 in advance, $15 at the door. There's going to be a Grateful Dead tribute band called the Grateful Dabs. Grateful Dabs. I'm sure there's going to be dabs there, and there's going to be lots of weed there. And if the weed man's there and I'm there's going to be lots of smoke somewhere. Just follow your nose. But yeah, Def Jeff is putting this one on for growup.nyc. Growup.nyc. Tomorrow night.
That stands for New York City.
Sorry. Producing. Always producing. Grab a mic there, Michael Brennan. What mic you got there? Yellow one?
What mic you got, Mike?
It's Mikey. Hey, Mikey.
You got Brennan, Mike.
Where you going?
You know which mic you got.
I don't know. I'm colorblind.
Which mic you got, Mike?
Hey, there she is. Beautiful.
Yeah. Yeah, where you going, Karen?
Outta here?
Grab a mic and tell us why you're leaving
Karen.
us. Here. Tell us why you're leaving
can't.
us. Tell us here.
Not allowed to talk without a mic.
Why are you leaving?
If we have headphones on, you got to use a
I
mic.
am leaving to go have lunch.
With who? You're having lunch with us right now. Why are you leaving us?
We got
Are
to
you
know
talking
who.
to me?
Yeah, I'm talking to you.
Karen, enjoy.
Why are you leaving us?
Thank you.
Come
'Cause
on.
I didn't eat all day. I'm starving.
Oh, you going across the street? Or
I got a sandwich
joint?
from across the street.
All right. I'll see you at the joint.
It's good for my...
Across the street? How are they? I always feel like I got to go down the street to the joint to eat up here.
What was that?
They got good food.
It's
at
out
the
of
joint.
solidarity. I feel like I got to go down the street.
You
all
have
the
to go
time.
down and eat at the joint. I eat at the joint like 4 or 5 times a week.
Me too.
So.
Are you going to Midnight Mass this week?
Of course.
Saturday night, right?
I think it's Saturday, right?
Midnight Mass.
But I'm going Friday, I believe.
To New York City.
And I got my ticket to go
New York City.
to the
Midnight
New York
Mass.
Harvest Fest.
New York City.
The whole weekend.
Midnight
Are you going?
Mass?
Yeah, I'm speaking.
I'm sleeping in your truck.
Thanks for reminding me. New York City
I'm
next
not.
Wednesday.
I'm getting a room. Kidding me?
Are you? I'm sleeping in your room then. Joanne and I are crashing.
All right, that's fine.
You don't mind, right? So I already told Jay I was crashing his tent, so wherever my body lays is just gonna, I can't crash in that Mustang.
Why not?
No, the
I guess
seat
I
drops
could.
down. So hit the passenger side.
Yeah.
And that way you can medicate safely with your card.
Well, since the medical marijuana program in New Jersey stinks, I can't afford my medication. So
How can you say that?
How can I say that?
Why would-
2 weeks out of a month, I don't go with any medication.
Why?
You know, I'm always bumming.
Why you can't afford it?
Can't afford it.
it is expensive. You're
Can't
right.
afford it.
Could be cheaper.
I mean, I do try
It
to
could be
use my
cheaper. It
discount.
should be cheaper.
Could be allowed to grow it.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that would be
I
very
think
good.
that's at least a few plants each.
One of the things that
you
amazes
know.
me is when you look at like the norm. I'm trying to think of the book that they printed in California years ago on the proper dosages for most ailments. With what they've arrived with there ends up being like 3 to 4 kilos a year,
Wow.
and we're at 2 ounces a month.
Well, in order to control my pain, I did a trial for myself. I tried a whole bunch of things, different strengths, and I know what'll help.
Good.
The coconut oil, but I just can't afford it. Just can't afford it. So I suffer.
We could grow our own one of these.
I have one of those. I won one.
Get a magical butter
If we
machine.
could
I
grow
have
our
one.
own, the big if we could.
If we could grow one, I'd have stuff to put in it.
Dun dun dun.
But right now it's
Dun,
got
dun,
cobwebs
dun.
in it.
Dun 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 dun
Yeah.
dun dun.
Hey,
Dun,
how are you?
dun.
We can use it for other herbs.
All right.
Meanwhile, back to New York City.
Yes.
Remember, hi, I'm Michael Brennan. It's all about me right now.
Yes,
I've
about him.
been
I'm
invited
outta
to
here.
speak up there next Wednesday.
Goodbye. 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 Meow.
See you at
Enjoy
the
your
joint.
lunch.
See you at the joint.
Woof, woof. Nothing but the dog. in
nut.
me. Speaking of which, where is my little beastie? There she is.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah. I received an invitation from medical marijuana practice as an attorney for patients representing. So a panel's been pulled together from Connecticut, New York, and New Jersey, with me representing New Jersey next week. So hopefully after hours that's something is going to come along with me and say hi.
Sweet.
Let me know. I have no
Nice.
idea where I'm going except Koreatown.
Ariel On's in the house. How are
Hello,
you?
hello.
Hey, nice to meet you.
Howdy,
What's your
howdy.
name?
Michael Brennan.
Michael what?
Brennan.
Brennan?
Yeah.
I'm Ariel Ons.
Hi, Aaron.
Hey.
Michael's always at the CMMNJ meetings on Tuesdays. I always see you there with your little doggy.
Yep, that's my dog
Yeah,
over
yeah,
there.
so cute.
She is too cute. That's her job.
Does she use cannabis too, or no?
She has a. Right now, it's healthy enough. She'll eat it. if I
She
give her
doesn't
a
care
chance.
about her health, though. She cares about having some dog fun. So
Yeah. Give us some CBD once in a while.
I had a dog that sincerely liked it.
Answer your question directly. Yes.
I knew it.
But it's by proxy through me.
I can tell a stoner when I see one.
Through me, I'm
Excels?
able to participate more
Dogs
actively
too.
in my life, where I'm able to have a dog like that in my life and be able to share it. Because
Yeah.
up until 2009, 2010, I had to wait still. However, the effects of this medicine on my body, I am no longer dependent on lifts around crutches to ambulate.
Awesome, huh?
The pain I'm able to modulate, and I just now am 2 weeks off of baclofen that I've been on for 15 years.
Wow, Lioresal. Well, it's
Yeah.
baclofen, the generic Lioresal.
I
Yeah, I know. I went. Let's see. I was charged with getting rid of about 100. I forget if they were 20 milligram baclofens when Cheryl passed away, and nobody told me you're supposed to flush them down the toilet, so I just used them.
Oh, that's great.
They're
Flushed them down my
stopping
gullet.
people. They're asking people not to do that anymore.
Yeah. Goes to
They
the raw
have
water.
because the water, it's
Yeah.
the opiate levels, the drug levels are showing up in the drinking water samples.
Yeah, it's really
and
bad.
so now the new thing, I know where my town where I'm at, they just came out with the drug drop box.
Yeah, the government
Drug
definitely
drop
wants the
box.
drugs.
Just
God,
come on into
yeah.
the police station,
Give
walk
them
up to
back.
the window, and drop your prescriptions off in the box.
Yeah.
Where at the
You
police
know,
station?
Of course. I mean,
So if a police station didn't have a drug drop box, you could go put
Oh.
one there and lay and wait and hope somebody throws one
Dun,
away
dun,
and
dun.
grab it and
Yeah.
run.
walk around, just remember going around door to door with the kids and UNICEF. No.
Make your own drug box.
Well, I was
Anyway.
surprised at how debilitating baclofen could be, but in all seriousness, when Cheryl passed away, I decided to consume what she had, whether or not I would have heard of flushing it down the toilet, which I was just being facetious.
Before I get too far
I
away off of
learned
that.
how why she was less than responsive at times, because it had a fairly debilitating effect.
It's
Yeah.
amazing. I'm still
Heroin.
going
Yeah.
through.
It was-
I'm also realizing why I was on it with the symptoms that I'm re-experiencing again after years, and so it's a balancing out, a rebalancing act as far as where
Well, it's
I'm
a
at with
muscle
my
relaxer, isn't it?
CBDs. Yeah.
Yeah.
What,
And so I'm
opiates?
looking at what
Baclofen.
Baclofen.
Yeah. It's more of an anti-spasm, and so trying to find the right strains right now is where I'm at with just trying
Charlotte's
to
Web.
dial it in.
Is that
Charlotte's
something?
Web, baby.
Yeah, is
Yeah,
that something?
I've been using. I just used blueberry Silvertip.
Okay, I heard
for the
ACDC
drive up
is
here.
good.
This
Made
is
it
something
very-
the
made it
program
very
is good for.
comfortable.
You know what you're getting, or at least you have a better idea, because when you're buying black or gray market, somebody can say it's blue
Right.
silver tip, but you don't know what it is.
There's-
So now that you do, through our crap law, at least have the advantage of purchasing something that you know what it is, and then you can actually get a dosage of something that works for you.
Amen.
Where it doesn't change the next time you get it, you know. I mean,
Yeah. I
way
mean,
back a long time ago, past the statute of limitations, I was always asked, well, what is this, Jim? And I
Where
was
you guys
tired
going?
of it. I was tired because there weren't strains in 1970. It was just, you know, so I names were coming out, and I called it Ecuadorian blue because there was no blue.
Which is
and in
how
6
most
months,
of the
6
names
months
came
later,
out.
a whole totally different person came to me bragging he had some Ecuadorian blue. You know, so
Amen.
like that at least the program can cut out.
That's great.
That's my
you know.
point.
Yeah,
It still goes around.
I feel necessary to point out some of the advantages because we do focus on the disadvantages because that's what we do. We fix things, but to at least acknowledge some of the benefits so that we don't forget that some people, such as yourself, are better off for the half of a loaf that we almost got.
A slice.
That even so, this is my point that while we go for legalization, we want to help people to be able to do what you're doing. And it is too expensive, and then we got to work on that, and you should be able to grow your own. But in the meanwhile, for people who can afford it or have a guardian angel helping
I'll be
them,
right back.
you know, and like I said, every time I see legal patients across the street, you know,
It makes me kind of happy, kind of sad, but
picture. Okay, I don't know if we can picture years ago because I mean I've been coming here way too long, but that would be like a mirage seeing.
Oh,
that.
yeah, that would be-
and it would
yeah.
bring out a SWAT team.
Yeah.
You know,
totally illegal.
so like the desensitization is going on where people riding by, walking by, nobody, people don't know that this is patients when somebody walks by. Nobody phones in complaints. They're somewhat desensitized. It's not the big
Once
deal
they
it used
did.
to be.
Once they did.
Once they did.
Because we were blocking the whole sidewalk.
Yeah, well, that was also
Because-
at one point it was snowy and they were stepping down into the road to walk by.
Yeah, it wasn't.
But that's why, like they're doing right now, that's the area between the stoops that's clear. Everybody has room to walk by.
Yeah,
And
we got 3 medical cannabis patients over there medicating. It's good to see that. 3 legal patients medicating. Yes.
I got a kick out of watching you at one of the governor's town hall meetings medicating where people were walking by from the parking lot. And he, you know, it was long enough ago, especially at a governor's rally where it was supporters going mostly. And you would be saying, nothing to see here. This is medical marijuana.
Yeah.
Nothing to see here.
Keep
Please
calm,
keep
keep calm."
passing. Keep on moving. Move along. Move along. No, but they were having to walk, you know, right by. So even if they didn't notice at first. That was the one where eventually it was like they had an ambulance. They said, yeah, you got to go medicate by the ambulance. Which
No.
was
First they said in the ambulance.
First they said in the
and I
ambulance.
was like, wow, we get to smoke in an ambulance.
I thought that was
man.
cool. And then the
That's
person in the
totally
ambulance
rad.
was like, what's wrong with you? You know, and you're like, I thought we were going to hotbox in your ambulance,
ambulance,
man. We're-
man. Hot box, dude. Yeah.
We're going to exhale and stand up as tall as we could and triple inhale, you know.
There's oxygen in here, damn it.
Yeah,
That would have been so cool, bro.
Yeah.
That would have been.
So,
Ariel, you just missed it. We had the NRA on here, and they agreed with me. They said that Governor Christie can take your guns away.
no, they said the federal government doesn't allow you to get
Right.
a permit if you
Right.
were using cannabis.
So
because it's federally.
So
the
basically-
he said the governor doesn't have to do it. The federal government can not allow you to get a gun. But the question
Okay.
is, what if you already have your
permit?
gun and then you become a patient? This is the problem.
Yeah.
You know, because you couldn't get it, but you already have it. They
Right.
don't.
So
They
who-
don't.
who-
They don't monitor and come take away.
Who takes it away at that point?
Well, this is where if the
Okay,
governor,
black
if he
market
steps in,
guns.
then there's going to be a problem.
Police state, they come to your house, door-to-door searches.
Excuse
Like
me,
with
we have your
illegal?
registration here. Could you surrender your weapon, please?
Yeah, too much
Yeah.
government. You know, this
No.
is a republic.
Another, you know,
Yeah. By the way, are you illegal? Can I see your papers? Let me see your papers.
Your
all of them.
papers.
All of them. Oh, wait, no. We only draw weapons to kill right now. Sorry. Whoops, the problem is, I went off topic.
We serve and protect you. You don't need weapons. We're here to protect you.
There's that
Boom,
t-shirt.
Stop resisting.
T-shirt. His head kept
Oh,
bouncing.
you're white. Oh, I'm not going to shoot you. You're white. Never mind.
His head
Sorry.
kept bouncing up off the asphalt, so that was resistance.
Yeah.
Anyway, back to medical marijuana and the wonderful stories of how it's. Well, how much has it helped your life?
Tons.
Well, I know it's helped her life.
I
You're able to adopt her.
I'm in the
because of it.
process of getting my card, but
Yeah.
All right.
good.
Need any help?
it's gonna take a while. Yeah.
Why?
That would
Why?
be the first person I've signed up.
Yeah. Why is it going to take
Yeah,
a while?
help me
Very
out.
simple process.
I need a lot of help.
What do you need?
I don't know. I guess
Who's your doctor?
start. I don't know.
Well, according
I
to
had
the
this, I had
coma,
this
you
dude
need a
in
condition.
Lakehurst.
All right, let's talk to him.
I went to this dude in Lakehurst, Dr. Panetta, that Robert Ruggiero goes to. And when I said, he said like, well, how'd you
Name
find out
dropping.
about me or whatever? I said like, you know, Rob. And he was like, oh, so then you're on the weed then. And then from there, I knew he wasn't going to give me a card.
On the
Really?
weed.
Ooh.
What? We're
The
gonna-
weed.
Let's call
Yeah,
his
you gotta
office.
watch, you gotta watch name dropping, especially when you're trying to.
Yeah.
You're trying to
shit.
show
You gotta s-
up
yeah.
in class.
You gotta
because
say-
you don't know the reputation of the person that
Yeah.
they're getting from.
You
the
got to call it
outside.
cannabis.
Yeah.
Cannabis? Is there
I
something
didn't
called
say
See,
it.
I had to come in through a side door with my doctor.
Yeah.
It was
It's
because
ridiculous.
he hits me every time. No, I'm sorry, your brother does meet the qualifications. However, I'm not taking any new medications.
Yeah, it's a joke.
You
It's
know,
a joke.
because he doesn't want to manage what the state
See?
has
Yeah.
overbearing him
There you
through
go.
his medical provider institution.
What a
Let's put
joke.
it that way.
So Ariel can't get her card now.
I mean, it's well,
I
no,
can-
she
I
just has to
can.
go to another doctor.
Not
I
immediately,
mean,
not as quickly as she should.
Yeah.
Why
what
does
is
she have to
your-
suffer? She's suffering now. Why does she have to suffer?
Well, that's going back to the conditions that are in coma, and then finding a position. I know what I had to do was with my interview. I kept going back and forth where the resistance from my GP. Every one of my specialists was like, they're the ones that brought it up. Michael, you'd be great. This would work great with you. And yet my GP would get adamant. You mentioned cannabis, he would stomp his foot, spin on his heels.
Oh my God.
And I refused to discuss this matter and walk out of the room.
Oh my God.
And then wait 15, 20 minutes before he showed back up for me to cool down. Like
You to cool down.
Yeah. Basically for me to get the point. Like, are you here for what I want you to be here, or are you going to... And I said, doctor, it's my family that's brought it up.
It's a bully.
And after going through this with my other physicians, boom, right back out the door again. And then I tried it with 3 other different appointments. Let's try other doctors in the practice. Exact same.
Wow.
So this told me that they were trained by the same person.
Yeah.
Which happens to go back to their medical practice and who they're at. But getting off of that, we can go and find doctors that, I mean, for me, I needed a GP.
You know, there's a question that
And he
one
asked
one
me.
could ask a doctor like that, Michael, and I would suggest it to anybody, is very seriously having a question phrased about the endocannabinoid system. Like, do you then agree that the endocannabinoid system receptors, are you saying they're of no value?
I think
And
cannabidiol would
then
help
when
the
he
symptom.
stutters to say, you do know what the endocannabinoid system is, don't you? You're a physician, you should know.
There's a good chance he doesn't.
Yeah, but no, he doesn't, because if
he
he
doesn't.
did, he wouldn't be doing what he's doing.
Yeah.
So to basically ask him a question about the endocannabinoid system offhand, saying, are you saying that the receptors are serving no purpose?
He's no expert. He has
He's-
no
no,
clue.
you're right, and he's also part
And
of a
then so-
medical
well,
practice.
yeah.
It's part of a
Well, then he
that
doesn't
says
have the
no.
information. It's like thinking that you could ask somebody from the Flat Earth Society how to navigate.
Do you think that we could maybe come up with a pamphlet to help for people to give to their physician, saying, "I see you're not on the program.
Yeah.
Could this help you
Yeah,
explain why? Give them some
I would.
rational.
I've always suggested that having something ready, don't ask the physician a question the first time. Say, would you please read this if you get a chance,
Thank
because
you.
I have some questions. Because what you won't get is the knee-jerk reaction. You want to avoid that.
Thank you,
Person may
yes.
start out saying, "No, that's a great idea," and it's kind of hard to put a quick package together, but if it included the benefits of when I say newly discovered 20 years ago, the endocannabinoid system, that it's only taught in 14% of medical schools.
Well, how many?
My personal
Whoa,
14%.
14%.
My personal experience was that's
It isn't
exactly what
even
I did
taught.
though. I went on PubMed, I printed the studies, and I would bring a few at a time, not to overwhelm them. Just
Yeah,
a couple
that's
at a time,
another
and
good
bring
way
it
to
to
do
my
it.
physician.
You
and
wanna keep it
follow-up
short and
appointment
get 'em wanting
here.
more.
Yeah, because it's direct. It's information that they can understand. It's peer-reviewed articles. Here, could you please get back to me on this? And I'm not entering a debate. Just let me know because we're considering this as an option, as an alternative.
They don't care because of money.
Yeah.
If you're bought out by big pharma, morals and what you really think does not matter.
Well, that's kind of an outside issue if you can deal one-on-one with your doctor. Again, we're dealing with the bona fide relationship.
If you got a cool doctor, yeah.
You know, the bona fide relation between patient and physician. You know, it's a real gray definition in HUMA.
Yeah.
However,
well,
you got to press that. Doctor, do we have a bona fide relationship? And this is a serious legal alternative, legal medicine in the state of New Jersey that I'm considering. Can you help me please make this decision in my
you know,
health?
you don't have to have a bona fide relationship with a doctor for him to prescribe anything else for you.
I know.
If he's visiting you and he assesses you, he gets to, and he can recommend something for somebody he's just taken on
That's
off-label.
amazing.
He can recommend off-label. I mean, he can say, well, this might help you even though it's not in the pharmacopoeia as an indication.
No,
So
with Marinol
it was
or,
the original law in the physician registry that got us down this road. That if physicians are not joining the registry means that other doctors are picking up business as well. Pot doctors is what they were trying to prevent, and then there are doctors that will. You can take on, and yes, you have to go through a certain amount, 3 visits and whatever it takes.
Or I think.
But as Leo found out that
or wait 1 year.
There's doctors that are willing to have, it's like, okay, well, actually, we'll call this 2 visits. We'll call the next one a visit next week. I'll visit you by phone. There are doctors that actually are pretty willing to cut this down because they see the necessity in shortening the time between
my
a person.
conversation that I had with him is like, I went in as a patient looking for a GP, and then as we were ending the interview, getting up, he said, was there anything else I can help you with? Well, now that you brought it up, I happened to notice on the internet that your name was on a list from the State Department of Health.
Yeah.
And at that time he rolled his eyes and said, yeah, and you qualify.
Yeah.
Conversation over. Thank God he was open-minded.
Yep.
It's in my head or real?
It's in your head. Sorry, Jim.
Eat to treat.
Magical butter makes your recipes better.
Come to the end of
bubbles.
the show.
We need
We
bubbles,
gotta give
people. We
credit.
need bubbles. Yeah, thanks. I do have a bubble machine too.
I need a butter machine.
There are bubbles coming out
I'm
of
trying to
the
meet
bottle.
Garen.
that's
I'm
it.
trying
I
to be
can do
Garen's
that.
assistant, dude.
I saw that.
I need to meet Garen.
This is
Me too.
definitely
I'm
made
in
for
school
radio
for
video.
communications
What
and
is this
botany.
box sitting on the table here?
Magical butter.
What do you think
been
it is?
something that's allowed me to afford the medicine in New Jersey.
We have a satisfied customer here.
I've been able to use it, extract, and come up with a glycerin tincture that goes under my tongue and with the same speed as inhaling goes right to my brain barrier, and neuropathic pain has been modified.
Well, you can make tinctures with this, indeed. And
Amazing.
oils and much more, much more. You can make
Holiday season's coming up.
brownies
Holiday
and
season's
cookies.
coming up. It's baking time, people.
Brownies and cookies.
Coconut butter's got medium chain
know.
triglycerides that far outweigh butter. However,
you're having a
it's still butter cookies are butter cookies. Love is love and home is home. Thanksgiving, the holidays coming up. Don't forget patience. This is for patients now. Medicate. If you follow the instructions, matter of fact, I believe in our patient's handbook, don't we come up with like little 100 milligram brownies or something from that? Do I?
I'm starving.
You can.
Yeah,
100 milligram
we can
brownies.
actually
Wow.
follow the math.
Cookies
and
as
get
well.
the
I
medicine.
need one.
You may rather have cookies than brownies, and this will help you make them equal.
This will help you.
It does it all.
Dressings.
Yeah.
Dressing.
You could make soup.
Greatest medicine of all.
Soups. You could make sauces.
Here it goes like this.
using-
It's just
Brownies, cookies,
Yeah, we're
smoothies,
cheating.
sauces, soups, veggies, candy, salad dressings for your tossed salad, Jim.
Oh, I don't have tossed
There
salad.
you go. But don't toss your salad. Enjoy it.
That's another
Toss your
semi-private joke.
Why would you toss your?
I enjoy tossing it.
At least we're not into sheep jokes.
Yeah, anyway, that's an
Why is
Australian
that so?
joke.
Why does everybody laugh at tossed salad? Why is that so funny?
It's funny in Australia. You'd have to talk to an Australian.
I don't get the joke.
That's because you're not Australian, and I'm not
about-
telling you
That's
on
it.
the air.
The toilet flows a different way up here, dude.
But it says here vegetables. You can't make vegetables with this.
No, I've used it to make other tinctures. You can make lavender tinctures. You can make mint.
I want to make a tomato.
Wonderful oils from this thing. And it doesn't have to be just about cannabis.
We have to call Garen Angel. There's a
and
mistake.
there's other are therapeutic as well. There's therapeutic things I've used.
Michael, there's a mistake on this box.
What's that?
This machine makes vegetables.
It makes vegetables.
I didn't know it made vegetables.
It can. It's a vegetable extractor.
Slow cook vegetables.
You put your vegetables in there. The biggest problem I have with this is when you put raw vegetables in there is the screaming that goes on.
You've seen Sausage
You
Party,
see that
have you?
blade coming in.
Have you seen Sausage Party? That was the movie. Was based on that.
Oh my goodness.
If you think that's funny, you got to go watch Sausage Party.
I haven't seen Sausage
It
Party
was
yet.
pretty funny. I
expect it to be, considering the people that were behind it.
1-800-420-4334.
I would recommend going medicated.
1-800-420-4334.
One more time.
Can I please?
1-800-420-4334.
The gentleman who's
I'm trying to get the
responsible.
damn number out, Michael.
I
Will you let me
hear
try
it.
to get the number out, please?
We're doing a
This is
commercial.
so
God,
important.
help me, please.
Facebook,
You're worse than William
magical
Haney.
butter.
You're worse than William Haney on dabs. I've had it with you.
Like us on Facebook. The dude Garen behind this machine just went to his town and got the town to basically
I saw that.
legalize.
He's doing amazing things.
He's awesome.
Criminalized.
He's
What
amazing.
a guy.
I love that
You
guy.
know?
I love
And
him.
He's responsible
I
for
want
getting
him.
this out
I want
here.
him.
I love him.
It gives us a way, makes it possible for us to do the same.
He sponsored freaking shows this summer with like
How
Slightly
do you think
Stupid
this
and
has
all
got
that.
here?
How do I work for Magical Butter Company?
Let's go. It's in Florida.
How do I do it?
We go down to Florida.
I'll do it if Garen wants me
Newport
to.
Richie. Newport Richie.
I'm
His
gonna
name is
message him on
Garen.
Facebook.
Like us on Facebook. You'll be friends. All of a sudden.
We are friends on Facebook. I'm gonna message him.
All right. Now, meanwhile, all about me. Hi, guys.
Garen's sending us a six-pack this week, hopefully. So we'll have our giveaway. We'll put you in the contest. I'll put you in the contest. No problem. You'll win it, too. 'Cause
I
we
could
cheat.
use this.
I could
We were
be
just
his
talking
assistant
about
from New Jersey.
getting together and having a magical butter party on the weekend.
Let's do
Getting a
that.
few of these babies spinning, man. We start going through this. See, this is where homegrown helps.
If
'Cause
you're
then
in
we
a
have the
hurry,
myth battered them.
how long
Boom,
does
get ready
this
for the
take?
holidays.
Botanical oil in as little as 1 hour.
1 hour. That's right.
And botanical butter in as little as 2 hours.
That's right.
For
2
people
hours.
who have an extra hour to wait.
And that used coconut.
Botanical tincture in as little as 4 hours. That's pretty quick for
Matter of fact,
tincture.
vegetable glycerin is
Yeah.
available pretty much everywhere you go to. at the health food
Recipes.
store.
It does say let your imagination run
That's right.
wild after all these recipes.
know.
And you try all the stuff they suggest, and your imagination is going to run wild, whether you let it or
More
not.
recipes available at magicalbutter.com.
Thank
Like us
you.
on Facebook.
It's
Magical
self-cleaning.
Butter,
You don't ever have to do
magicalbutter.com.
anything when you're done. You come back, it's clean.
It's stainless steel.
You just rinse it off.
You can't stain
That's it.
no.
I can't even
You just-
stain it.
you
I
drop it
stain
in there.
everything. I
It's
can't stain it.
amazing. It just rinse it off. Boom. It's
No,
done.
no, we kid, but it is really. I hear nothing bad about it, as Michael said.
I've had mine for years
So
now. What
Garen
broke
knows that
me
we're going
down,
to kid around a lot, but
made my decision to get it. I knew about it, knew of its existence. My significant
well,
other got sick.
Garen
And
is
at that moment, I drove right to my friend's store and bought it and went back and started making my first tinctures.
Garen is proof then that his what he has here is changing lives, and then when he allows us to give them away occasionally, he's changing lives that otherwise would not have changed.
I'm not claiming
Dude,
anecdotal
that's how we met
responsibility, but
Chad.
you did beat stage 4 ovarian.
It's how we met Chad, and I
God
know
bless.
Chad didn't make it, but it was
Yeah.
great to meet Iris and Chad and all the patients who won machines. Tuffy won a machine.
Yeah.
Sarah. So many people won these machines.
Oh, we keep this up. I'm going to want to get like my car wrapped in the magical butter guy thing. I mean, stop it.
But I want to thank our other sponsor, medical-freedom.com. Medical-freedom.com. Get your State of Compassion flags from medical-freedom.com. And also William Haney's mom's book, Joan Ford, The Falling Sickness, From Caesar to Me, coming out very soon.
Can I bring up also the Coalition for Medical Marijuana New Jersey T-shirts available because no one should suffer needlessly at CMNJ.
Ooh, that was
capital
good.
G.
$15 each, I hear.
That's
Yes.
correct. We do have local visual artists looking into maybe perhaps tie-dyeing and making a special thing for anything special coming up if people want to have something like that. But
We're thinking of upping our
It's an idea.
inventory to
It's an
include hats
idea.
as well. People like to have a
Hey,
cap on.
right here, Baker, baby.
You get the
know
Don't
that-
Shoot
you
on White.
understand what that means. You've been a skateboard.
You can get the Don't Shoot on White shirt from sativacross.com.
Yeah.
Sativacross.com.
Baker
And
skateboards
You don't
right here
have
on
to
my head.
be white or Caucasian to get one.
It's better when a black guy wears the Don't Shoot on White shirt. It means a lot more, especially when the police are killing black people all over the country. And then you get a black dude wearing this shirt. It's like, wow, it makes you think.
It does. When Philippe showed up with his and stood next to you, it just looked hilarious. It's sort of like,
Well,
don't shoot on white. Like
that's what-
maybe somebody would be dumb enough to go, oh, okay. You know. But
so
anyway,
we're
it's
supposed to
they're
realize,
available.
Look at the reality and smile through it. You know?
And,
It creates conversation, which I'm getting better at.
It's the problem, really. It gets the conversation going. That's
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah. One black woman comes up to me. She gives me a look like this. She looks at me, looks at my shirt. What's that all about? And then I explained to her, white privilege. Yeah, white privilege and blah, blah, blah. She's like, where do I get one? How do I get one of those? So, yeah. Just got to explain what it's all about. They get it.
That's it.
People get it.
Oh, yeah.
I see it's to the part of the show.
I used to get
unless
that with
we've-
my little Nazi sign with the
We've given
cross
enough
going across it.
enough hat tipping
What's that
to
about?
everybody. It's the part of the show that we end with now. I believe we can't avoid it any longer.
Legalized for Lorelei. JacksonStorms.com. Toughies Fight.
Did you see a story about 165,000 people died from opiates?
Jenny's
Don't
Purple
wanna
Ribbon
hear it
Journey.
now, he's giving credits.
Jenny's Purple Ribbon Journey, which is Roger Barber's daughter, and Laura and Marley need all of our help. Jenna's Journey, prayers for Sarah, prayers for Pete. Campaign for Compassion, NewJerseyWeedman.com, Joint Boys. Shout out to the Joint Boys. Yeah. There's always a joint boy around when you need one. He's over there. I smell him. I smell weed, so I know there's a joint boy here.
How, I'm going to start some controversy right
Go ahead.
now.
Go for it.
I've been at the joint since day one, and
Uh-oh.
I asked Chris to make me a cartoon, and he said, nah.
Nah.
That's messed up, right?
What?
That's what I said.
Who would want a cartoon
I was
of
like,
you?
I've been there since day one. Everyone would. I've been there since day one. Day one.
I've seen him drawing you. I've seen him following you, drawing
No,
you. He
he
just never
did
gave it to
not.
you. Yeah.
No, he
I've seen
didn't.
it.
I'm mad. I'm unofficially the joint girl.
You are.
I'm gonna make that myself.
We'll go down there today. We'll straighten him out.
Yeah.
We'll
They don't
straighten
think
out
I'm
Grizzly.
they're like, nah, we don't know you.
Terry, we got to straighten this out.
Somehow straightening something out at the joint sounds oxymoronic.
We got to straighten out this joint business.
Yeah.
I'm the joint girl.
Open mic night at the comedy club.
Hey, what'd you say? Off mic?
Yeah, I'm off mic.
What'd you say off mic about the mic?
Balancing
Mike?
a dog. Balancing a dog on my lap at time.
Oh, that's fun. That's always fun.
Yeah, but yeah, all of a sudden it turns into open mic
Dog
night.
saying, screw you, I'm balancing myself,
Boom,
man.
boom. That's it.
American refugees.
Yes.
Brian, Vivian, Megan, Adele,
I'm starving.
Jackson, Sarah. We shouldn't have American refugees. Diane, that's something we
Well,
should not have.
let's Diane, and then we have to also mention Terry and Jack and Charlie. It's a whole family.
The Greenway's been going on for a
Yeah,
generation now.
You know, the Colorado got one of the nicest families I know in the Thornbacher Wall clan there, and
The
it
Sound
was
of Children.
Yeah, so she's
Love that.
refugees. We've created a whole class of people who have to leave the state and take their, actually in their case,
Children.
decent income with them. You
Yeah.
know, it's a contrary to the coffers.
Children,
of the state.
younger
It's
than
just-
these kids right here.
Yeah.
Children are suffering.
Sometimes the
That's
same thing.
unbelievable.
Autism, epilepsy, cancer.
Yeah, people with all of these.
There's an amazing list of things that help children.
What do you do if your kids can't get the proper health care in the state you live in and they can get it somewhere else? If you at all can move, you move. But people,
That's
why
the
don't you
green
just
wave.
move? The idea, of uprooting everything and all the social system that you're into, and when you're sick, you have your doctors and everything in place, and to move is a very daunting task.
As an ideal.
We've seen it happen too many times. But Yeah, we remember the refugees, and we give credit to the sponsors.
We got a thumbs up.
And then we're running out of things to do before we end the show.
This list is. I don't like this list, Jen. I say this every week, and I don't know.
You feel it coming, don't you? I mean, you feel it coming. It's like, no, let's talk about the refugees a little longer, because it staves off the way we end our show, which is remembering those who have passed on before it was their time, before they realized the full value of what they were fighting for.
Like your wife, Cheryl.
Yeah.
Your wife, Cheryl, fought with her head. Literally fought with her head. She couldn't move her body. You pushed her around in a bed, and she fought the government with her head.
Yeah.
She inspired me to do what I'm doing. That's
And
why
she
I'm here.
kicked her butt.
And she
that
kicked
way too. Yeah.
Yeah, you didn't do nothing.
Anybody who wants to see a fun little thing, go to a YouTube video, look up Cheryl Miller, marijuana, and see what happens when a woman who can only move her head gets arrested for using marijuana in a congressman's office way back in the 19-something or others.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's still up there, the NBC footage. And
Some kind of activist?
You'll laugh if you don't cry first.
Yeah. She was something.
Yeah.
But she fought for us, and she knew that she'd never see cannabis in her lifetime legalized, but she fought for us.
And she fought for the people who she knew would rise up and fight for themselves and others after her, like Diane Ripatella. See, this is where we remember, and we can list them slow or rip it off like a Band-Aid. Sometimes slow is almost better.
Well, then you have Chad.
Chad
just died this year.
It's really sad. I was thinking about that yesterday.
We tried to help Chad with a butter machine. He won a butter machine. We met Iris and Chad.
Iris probably still uses that.
And a friend of mine, that would come over my house, use my machine for his liver cancer. You know, and just remember those times. And you know, Jack was a wonderful friend. Thank you for reminding me of him.
So when Chad was diagnosed with brain cancer, his father killed himself. So Iris was left by herself to deal with this horrible situation. And we tried our best to help her, and we couldn't do anything.
Yeah, no, you can't say you didn't do anything. The fact that you tried to help, and
We gave her hope.
She knows that you tried to help. She knows she wasn't literally alone, that there were people that cared enough to do whatever they could.
That means a lot.
You know, let me tell you, it does mean a lot to people who just need somebody in their corner. And it's that they can go down with somebody else swinging for them. They don't have to do it all. We can help. Well, we can try.
But man, these stories, I mean.
But we do this to honor them too. Roger Barber, we don't like including him in the list, not because he wasn't a patient. It's because everything he did was because he was presented the problem that he knew there was something that would help his daughter and that she needed, and he was a lawyer, which made it harder for him to ignore, as some people do. And he went nearly into debt, lost weight, doing everything he could as a lawyer.
They're in debt.
I know it. And
they're going to lose the house.
Sad as that is.
I'm just saying, they're going to lose the house.
That wouldn't have happened if he wasn't fighting to save his daughter's life.
And they're going to and Marley and Jenny gets out of the house because Laura has to take a nap at some point. And they took a nap one day. But they were so tired, Marley too, their other daughter, and Jenny got out of the house. When they woke up, they couldn't find Jenny. Can you imagine waking up and not finding Jenny after all they've been through?
An incommunicative child who does not communicate with other people.
She has no clue.
Who will just look up and smile at you, and in this case, she wandered into a deli, and they called the police, and the police were able to find her. But what does this make a mother feel?
A single mom. A single mom now.
I mean, what does that do to her? And this is barely 3 or 4 weeks after her husband passed away, that she's got more than she can handle, and that's the proof right there.
That's her new reality.
So we put Roger
Welcome to reality.
on the list because for every person that passes on, there's usually a ripple effect left behind with people that cared about them.
Roger was the best, man.
Yeah, it's remembering those who have passed on is painful but I think Lefty and I both need that pain a little bit, because we know how that makes us feel, and this is where we are identical. We are twins on this, that we need to feel the pain to have the power that it takes to do what we do each week, and it's not just coming here. There's things in between that we do. We're lifers. We're virtually full time.
My little thing with pain from what I've had to go through with my suffering, my own family members and things, that's the price that we pay for the love we got, you know, and it makes it so much worth it. It honors the entire relationship.
Well,
it bonifies that, and so not that I look forward to the pain. It does put it in its perspective for me.
You
I
know,
hope that helps.
The only benefit to this, and it's sad, is Diane Rupertella found out how much her husband Joe loved her when he chose to fight with Lee. Same with Cheryl and me. If I just took care of her without doing publicly to make a point, she would have known.
Cool.
She would have known that I loved her. But you know, I have that no matter what I failed at, and there was a lot of things that I could have done better at. She knew I loved her, and the reason I know that, real quick story to lighten it up a little bit. It was towards the end, and we were in hospital. There was blockage, there was concerns, and they were wheeling Cheryl down to radiology to have a sonogram, is what she was going to have to see if there's blockages. So I'm looking down at her, realizing she's looking up at doctors in the gurney in the hospital, and we're going to do this. And I said to her, "Who's the first person you see in the morning when you open your eyes?" And she said, "Well, you," because I stayed there. And then I said to her, "Who's the last person you see at night?" And she said, "Well, you." And I said, "Now we're going down to radiology, and I'm not going to be allowed in the room, but I'll be behind the other side of the closest door." And do you know why? And it was not what she said, it was the way that it's not what she said, it was the way that she said it that keeps me company all these years later. When I said, "Do you know why I'm going to be right outside that closest door?" She went, "Because you love me." The inference was, and there's nothing you can do about it. So the struggle that we went through served that purpose. So that's about all people get out of it. They know where they stand. And conversely, I'm sorry for the people who need something like, well, I'll just say Brian Cummings, and he gets no support from his family for what he goes through. So it doesn't happen. And to the people who go to the wall, they know nothing says I love you more than doing these things. So at the end of all these stories, there is at least that. That's the silver lining, but it doesn't make you or me feel better, because I miss Roger. You know, man could smile at anything. Almost to the point where you felt like saying, "Roger, when you say this is terrible, you can't be smiling."
That's what killed him, Jim. He kept all that stress inside. He didn't let us know how hurt he was and how much pain he was in. He was in a lot of pain.
You could see it by his weight loss program.
Physically and mentally.
Yeah.
And he kept smiling, and oh, man.
He's a victim.
Oh.
And
he's a
but
patient.
He's a hero, though.
And a patient.
Yeah.
And 1 out of 10 patients die every year in New Jersey.
That's a startling fact. Last year, over 600 and some patients died. We had just over 6,000 patients. So when you hear that there's 8,000 people registered in the program now, are you surprised to find out that that likely includes those who have passed away? Mm-hmm. They consider them in the program somehow still to make it sound good. These are the people we remember at the end of each podcast. And we do so with the Ode to Remembrance, the 4th stanza, written in honor and memory of World War I soldiers shortly after that war ended. Different versions on different continents, because it was a world war, and we've adopted it to say how we feel about these people.
Marie from Pennsylvania, Gracie from Pennsylvania, Cindy Mae.
Too many. Too many.
Weren't you a radio guy back in the day? Didn't you used to do radio? Didn't you used to do radio? No, I'm shutting your mic off.
Sure, he did radio. He knew to blame it on somebody else.
No, oh, wait.
Mine's off.
Her headset there, and then my headset here gave her stereo feedback. It's okay. I'm not blaming. There's no blame here. It's just the facts.
And I like to blame people, especially before this next list, because this list sucks. This
True.
list sucks, dude.
But this is about peace with these.
I'm not. I don't have closure with this yet. I don't
Okay.
have closure with this list.
I agree.
I don't. It's raw.
What's the opposite
It's a ways
of closure?
away.
What's the opposite of closure? Whatever that is. It's like an open wound.
Yeah, it's an open wound, man. Because we're watching his family suffer right now. Seriously, we're watching Laura spiral, and I can't watch my friend spiral down like this, man. We got to do something to help him out. And if it's calling Senator Cruz again, we're going to call Senator Cruz again.
Well, I think what you did, I would not be surprised if this stirs things up, because this is the low-hanging fruit for them as well. It's not like they have to even do anything other than copy,
really.
paste,
Yeah.
remember their names
Come
so
on.
they spell them correctly when they
Please.
sign the
Please
name
do
to it.
something. If you hear us, please do something for Laura. And if you're near Laura, pay her a visit, help her out. Just go say hello. Joanne's family is suffering too.
Yep.
Joanne, Amaris, Quinlan, they're all suffering. They lost their husband, their father. Tragically.
But we don't forget.
No, we don't forget. And he had 6 months to go on his probation until he was able to get off his probation and use cannabis again.
Counting down the months, actually. At
He
that
was.
time. Yeah.
And he grew some nice weed, Jeremy. I saw some of that weed that Jeremy grew, man. Oh my God, it was beautiful.
That he got in trouble for growing.
That he, well, no, I think that he smoked that batch. I think he got in trouble for some other stuff. Oh God, what these patients go through, though. Jeremy had 6 months to go, man. 6 months, and listening to Joanne suffer like this, it's horrible because she's such a sweetheart, and to hear her just want to be in heaven with him, and just, oh my God, I feel so bad for you, Joanne. I don't know what to say. There's nothing to say.
There isn't.
You know, I'm here, and I'll smoke you up, and I'll
Understand
I
that we don't know how she feels.
I know.
And nobody does. And you can't say, oh, well, I lost somebody too. I know how you feel. It doesn't apply.
Well, I lost my grandma last year, and I'm still not over it. I'm still depressed over it. So, and it's a year later.
Yeah, there were extenuating circumstances that are just cause for having it feel that way.
There's a lot of family
You
drama.
run into someone with grief, you run into someone with grief. There's no two of us feel the same.
Yeah.
Expressions of it, though, having the support of people that are still here, knowing that, okay, I can put my feet on the ground without walking on eggshells.
And you got Sabina Rose, and then little Jack died in Colorado.
Yeah.
Little Jack. Come on, man. Really? Little Jack died?
Sabina Rose died
Still his journey
at
with the
15
message,
months
though.
old.
Yeah, 15 months old, man.
15-month-old victim.
Wow.
Died on December 2nd, 2013, I believe it was.
It's just brutal, man.
The same day Governor Christie was somewhere else making a proclamation that I'm done improving the medical marijuana law. There's going to be no more improvements. He was declaring that at the same day that she died. Not because she died, but it was December 2nd that he declared that for the first time.
Yeah.
I responded, that was December and January, as you've seen with Jim Price and me, coming to his inauguration. And as he exited his office, and there's a 16-second fun little film of him doing that, you see him walking by. Jim Price is holding the camera up so you don't see us, but you hear me clearly as he's exiting his office, pomp and ceremony with state troopers doing this cool little pivot turn coming out of his office.
God.
And as he walked by me, and I was the first one he walked by, I said quite loudly, "No, Governor, we're not done improving our medical marijuana law, not by a long shot." And that was the first thing said to him on his way to his inauguration. So he said that in December, and I challenged him on that the next month as publicly as possible. And we've had a sign here often enough saying the same thing. And the fact that we're still here says that, and the fact that he's signing bills he doesn't want to probably, he's wrong. He's not done improving it. We're waiting for him to leave, but before he does, we're going to make a few more changes.
Greatest medicine of all is teaching others how to not need it. Right there in front of my face.
Thank you, Jim Miller. Thank you, Ariel. Thanks, Michael. See you next time.
Ode to remembrance.
They shall grow not old, as we that are left grow old. Age shall not weary them, nor the years condemn. At the going down of the sun, and in the morning, we will remember them. We will remember them.